Tired of the silence, the sugar-coated lies. Another headline screaming behind vacant eyes. They build up their walls so high and so strong, but the truth's gonna break through before too long. Every single day, the same damn old game, pointing all the fingers, nobody takes the blame. This pressure's building, it's starting to crack. Ain't no turning back now, ain't no holding back. I'm about to say it, yeah, I'm about to scream. Tired of the fake smiles, living in a dream. The real life's bleeding out in the cold. Gotta break the mold, gotta let it unfold. I'm about to say it, every single word. The uncomfortable truth finally gonna be heard. I'm gonna say it.
Good morning, everybody. I know I said that we probably wouldn't have a show today, but however, if I did have some time to get one in, I would. And so I have a few minutes, and so I kept my word, and we are going to do a show real quick. I had someone actually message me wanting me to speak on the Tory Lanez situation. So that's what we're going to do for today. Don't get me wrong, I'm still keeping an eye on the puffy jacket ongoing to the trial or whatnot. But and so far on that, we know Cassie's going to finish up her um, appearance on the stand and questioning and stuff. And allegedly, Don Richard or Richard or whatever you want to call it is supposed to also take the stand today. So that's what's the update as far as the puffy jacket trial goes. Now, when it comes to the Tory Lanez situation, first of all, let's keep him in prayer. Hopefully, it's reported that he is doing better after being poked um, while incarcerated. But I want to take a few minutes to kind of explain some things to people or get you to understand some things when it comes to the industry. Like, there's a lot of manipulation when it comes into the industry, which is it's a lot of that's been already portrayed as far as, or I won't say portrayed, that has came out within the Puffy Jacket trial and dealing with Cassie and how he manipulated her. But the thing about it is, when you get into this industry, right? Good morning, Deb. Good morning. I'm glad you made it in, bestie. How you doing this morning? When you get into a certain group or a certain crowd in the entertainment business, there are what I'll call, for lack of better words, heavy hitters. Or there are people who sit in a higher position. And so within that elite group or within that select company, and so they have the innate ability to make things happen, but they also possess the power to have the media portray it to us in a different perspective. Um, it'll make it seem as though one thing happened, but in all actuality, that's not the truth. That's not what really went down, right? And so I believe this is what's uh, happening with Tory Lanez. And before we get started or go further into that, let's get our disclaimer out here.
All things said in today's episode of hashtag I'm Gonna Say It is alleged and for entertainment and educational purposes only. If you are below the age of 18, we request that you leave the live now. Enjoy.
I believe this is what's going on with Tory now. In the beginning, we know, let's get into what happened, right? Somehow or another, he had dealings with Megan Thee Stallion. And there's proof that Megan Thee Stallion had dealings or was signed with Camel Face's business or record label or whatever, correct? And an altercation, a disagreement, however you want to put it, allegedly or apparently took place between them two, Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion. And it's alleged that he, hurt. He gets locked up. Now, it's come out today, or not today, but it's come out recently, that he didn't do it. Allegedly, he didn't do that. Also, it's coming out that he was going to expose Camel Face. So it's the same when you're dealing with people like Camel Face, Puffy Jacket. They have a history of when people are going to. Well, I won't say Camel Face per se, but I'm sure he probably does have some. We had never, but definitely with Puffy Jacket, when people are going to expose something, mysteriously something happens to them. And they get sick, as in the case of Mr. Shore, or they end up passing away, as Kim Porter, Heavy D, Andre Harrell, people like that. Things happen to them. And I'm sure there's others we probably don't know about, right? So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play some audio from a press conference that happened yesterday, and it says there's new evidence presented in the Tory Lanez case. And we'll just listen to it and see if it can point out those things that we are just talking about or speaking of. And don't worry, I'm keeping an eye on the Puffy Jacket situation as well. And this source cred is from Anton Daniels.
We are here today to bring to your attention some information Unite the People believes is exculpatory in Mr. Daystar Peterson's case, professionally known as Tory Lanez.
That's true.
Recently, we've been made aware that a member of the media, Mr. Gianno Caldwell, was working on an op-ed for the New York Post regarding Mr. Peterson's innocence. During his work on that op-ed, he became aware of some information in Unite the People's possession regarding a statement that was given to Unite the People by someone with information relevant to that case. The New York Post recently reached out to the prior district attorney, George Gascon, Megan Pete and her representatives, and Kelsey Harris and her representatives.
Oh, hold on. Before I go further with this, let me let you in on. So here's what's being alleged: the person or the man who poked, and you all know what poke mean, right? We can't say the S word on here. So poked, this guy Tory Lanez, in prison or while he was incarcerated. It's alleged that he was paid off to do so by Camel Face, not necessarily him, but somebody in his crew or somebody in his company that could facilitate this, make sure this happens on the inside. Now, the person who did it, the man who did it, it's alleged that he has a known history with attacking people, that's incarcerated with him. So they're saying, hey, it would have been nothing for this guy to do it to him and take the money for it. People on the outside that he knows, not Tory, but the person who poked him. The people he know on the outside, they would contact them and then give them the payment. And then once that person on the outside let the suspect that's incarcerated know that, hey, yeah, payment went through, now you can go ahead and do the job, quote unquote. So that's what they are alleging right now.
The only party that responded was last week was Megan Pete's representatives with a request for more information. A few days later, Mr. Peterson's brutally attacked in his jail cell. Unite the People represents Daystar Peterson in his appellate process. We filed an appellate brief and a writ of habeas corpus on his behalf.
We're not going to skip over that, bro. We're not just going to skip over the whole idea that when they reached out to let them know that they had new evidence or they had the truth behind what was going on, and I'm sure that he's going to reveal what the truth is. I literally just stepped off the plane and seen this while I was on the plane. I couldn't wait to get to my hotel room so that I can have this conversation. That literally right after that, he got attacked by a dude that is serving life in prison on a prison yard right after, the day after they reached out to Meg and Pete, who was Meg Thee Stallion's team. All of a sudden, for whatever reason, Tory Lanez ends up in the hospital when they tried to take his life. We stood on business since day one. And all of these women said that Tory Lanez was guilty and that he needed to go to jail and believe all women. And I shot credibility in that from day one when she appeared on Gail King's show and she said that they never slept together. And in the documentary, she then revealed that they did sleep together, which obviously we seen all of the details of the case and nobody could prove that he actually shot her. But everybody was keeping quiet
TikTok
because
shot.
they wanted to protect themselves and they didn't want to go to jail themselves and be charged with the whole situation. But she is the one that said that he shot her.
We love TikTok
now
shot.
you see hits coming out in prison and they trying to take this man's life. And from day one, I said, I don't believe it. I think that she's lying. This woman need to be prosecuted and sent to prison. And everybody involved with it that tried to, man, I think that this stinks up to the highest of highs, and I can't wait to talk about it on After Hours. This is crazy. This is insane. Let me get the rest of this, and then we're going to come back and we're going to react to it.
The district attorney's office has already responded. The case is fully briefed. We're just waiting for the appellate court's decision. We were willing to wait for the appellate process to play out. But given that brutal, unprovoked attack, we felt it necessary to come here today to provide you with this information. It is our intention to make a request to the governor to either pardon or commute the sentence of Mr. Peterson so that when he recovers from this attack, he's not returned to a jail cell, but that he's allowed to go home and recover.
And seek restitution.
Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James. Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Ms. Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. As such, he was in close proximity.
Hold on, let me pause right there. I just thought about something. Wouldn't it? Somebody say he's not getting out. You talking about Tory? Wouldn't it be something if? And I'm not saying this is the case. I'm just throwing an idea out against the wall, basically. What if this is the beginning of Camel Face's fall? I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying, what if they get him on? What if they were to say that this was his Ricardo charge or whatever, that he was coercion in orchestrating this alleged hit? What if that was the case? Where do we go from here? Someone's in the. Hold on one second. Let's see. I want to see who that is. I'll let them know. Okay, yours truly. Give me one moment, and then I'll bring you up. We're gonna finish hearing this, and then I'll bring you up. I'm not saying that it is. I'm just trying to be, because the way everything is going now, right? Given a lot of the things that's going on with celebrities, yours truly says, I think he orchestrated all this himself and his lawyer. Now, are you speaking on, you think that Tory orchestrated it, or do you think? Are you saying camel face? You know what? You know what? Don't even answer that yet, yours truly, because I'm gonna bring you up in the panel. I'm gonna bring you up. Oh, you already answered. Okay. Okay. Well, listen. After we do this, I'm gonna after we play this, I'll bring you up and you can uh, go into detail on why you say that. All right.
Proximity, and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do.
10 years, y'all.
Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was a witness to the conversation Miss Harris had, where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times. Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times.
We love TikTok shot.
In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun.
We love TikTok
never fired
shot.
the gun.
Will you stop saying that word?
This
We love
statement
TikTok shot.
aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw 2 women fighting, 2 men break up the fight, 1 man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side.
We love
Passenger
TikTok
side
shot.
is where Miss Harris was sitting. This further iterates that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Miss Pete, did not shoot at Miss Pete, or did not assault Miss Pete. It's just another irregularity in a list of irregularities in this case.
Never should have been in prison.
For example, there were 3 potential suspects in the car that night, and yet the only DNA sample was taken of Mr. Peterson, even though unknown DNA was found on the gun. Why wasn't Miss Harris's DNA taken? Or was it taken and the information simply never given to the defense? Why wasn't the driver of the car, Mr. Jaquan Smith's DNA taken? Or was it taken and again, simply not given to the defense? We don't know. It should have been taken. It is Unite the People's understanding, regular LAPD practice at a crime scene like that, anybody who's there, the DNA is taken.
And this is why Tory Lanez took it to trial, because he said, listen, I am going to defend myself and I'm not going to plead guilty and take a plea deal for something that I didn't do, which is another reason why men are under attack on a regular basis.
Another irregularity. Why, at Miss Harris's police interview, was a non-lawyer, non-family member record company executive allowed to participate?
That's crazy.
A highly irregular situation. Normally, we see cases, strangers are not allowed in these things, but it was in this case. All of these things point to the highly
I don't know.
nature
that may be true.
of his trial
He may
and
have
his
had it.
conviction.
I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm
It
not
is
saying
our
he's not
contention
guilty.
that he was wrongly convicted.
I agree.
And while we at first were willing to let the process play out, it is our contention now that if he is not
And Irish,
pardoned
would you like to come up in
or
the panel
released
as well?
promptly, he may never come out.
Just
And
put a
that
1
would
in
be
the
the
lobby. if
ultimate
you would.
injustice, is that he gets killed in prison for something he did not do. At this time, I'd like to bring up Mr. Gianno Caldwell, the media member who was working on that op-ed for the New York Post. Thank you.
We're going to cover the rest of this on the Millionaire Morning Show. It's going to be the top story that we cover. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications from day one. And I had these debates on these panels. They tried to say that I was a misogynist. They tried to say, no. From day one, I said that this woman was a liar up to the top of her lungs, and that they were protecting her, and a record label was protecting her, and all of this stuff. And they tried to say that the vloggers was wrong. They tried to say that the people was wrong. They tried to sue everybody. Apparently, it's alleged that whoever it is that's put out this hit on him inside of prison, that it came after they let everybody know that this man is innocent, and they got new evidence that should lead to his exoneration and release from prison. And personally, because for me, this is beyond just her,
Word,
him,
Ron.
record
Hey,
labels, who was
hey, you want to come up
incentivized
in
in
the
order to
panel?
knock this guy off, whether or not they didn't agree with the fact that this guy was doing it independently and he
Tory
was
Lane.
running up a
Yeah,
bag.
that's it, little brother. Grand
And
rising to you.
who knows? Who knows? It sinks to high heaven. But I know this. I know this. A, I was right. B, I was right. And C, I believe that this woman needs to go to jail. Somebody needs to be made an example of all of the lies that came. And then they had the nerve to release a documentary and making it seem like she was really a victim. Man, get the hell out of here, bro. Get the hell out of here. I stand on what I said. I was right,
Hey, thank you for
and I
that
think
daily
I'm right
heartbeat. I
about a lot
appreciate
of
that, little brother.
things. I'm open to the possibility that I was wrong, but I was right. I was right. I was right. And free Tory Lanez. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all.
All right. Okay, that's what Anton Daniels has to say about it. I think it was yours truly, right? Didn't I say that's who? Yeah. That's it. That's it. And
What's
anybody
up,
else you
bro?
want to come up in the
What's up,
box,
brother?
put a one in the live. How's it going, yours truly? Good morning.
Man, I know a lot of people is running with this like clickbait to give us something to distract ourselves, but that man is staying in jail.
You think he's
Um,
staying in there? Okay.
Yeah, I know he is.
Okay.
I have two friends who are lawyers. That doesn't make me one, but we already spoke about them when they got the verdict in this case and the transcripts came out. A lot of people are going off of public opinion of what we think because of the smear campaigns that it came out that he was paying for to be ran against Megan, but they're not paying attention to what's in the black and white, which is the court transcript. And in the court transcript, they both had gunshot I mean, I'm sorry, pew
Pew
pew.
pew.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's all
TikTok, this
right.
is for entertainment purposes only. They
Hey,
both
nice.
had pew pew residue on them. And notice how the dude, he was very specific. If that was a lawyer, he was very specific on how, or I'm sorry, very lenient on how he was using his words. He was using open-ended words that would lead to more questions instead of speaking what was facts, which was in the court records and the transcripts. And that's what lawyers do. They know how to lie. I think they're just running up whatever money they can get from Tory from this case because he's already been denied an appeal multiple times. And I know he's not going to get out from the original statement. And people keep thinking that it's Megan, the reason why he's in there, when that's not even the reason why he's in there. He's in there because the witness that he called, his defense called, put the pew pew in his hands. That's all they needed. Even though when Kelsey first went to the police station and they interviewed her and she told on Tory, even though that video was not admissible, they still remember that she was the first one that initially told on Tory. So when he called his witness and his defense allowed that witness to say that understand, that's all they needed. That's all they needed. California have the strictest gun law. So whether he was a
Pew
felon
pew.
or not, I'm sorry, damn. TikTok
No, you
entertainment
look. You
purposes
like me.
only.
Look, I'm just want to tell you what it is.
Yeah, I'm
Go
sorry. Pew 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 pew. Even they have the strictest pew pew law. So even if he was a felon or not, if you're pulled over in California, you could be a first timer, and you have something like that on you. You have to have damn near OJ Simpson lawyer to get off. You're gonna get some time. So that's all I want to say. I know a lot of people want to say Megan this, Megan that. This, even though she was the subject, he's not in there because of that. He's in there because of that's California. You can't have this, and your witness that you called for your defense put it in your hands. And he didn't make it no better because he didn't take the stand to speak up for himself and to deny the allegations. It was too late. So that's all I want to say because
Hey,
I
I
know.
appreciate it.
Yeah, that's it. Appreciate you, man. That's it.
Hey, God bless, man. You have a good day. I love that. I love that. Okay, anybody? Iris, you seem to know a lot too. So, what would you mind coming up in the panel? Listen, people. Listen. Is no judgment here. It's no. I mean, you're just giving your opinion and what you think. So, Jenny says his lawyer dropped out. See, so I mean, listen. You know, I'm just saying. Whenever a lawyer quit, you know, it, I don't know. That's not. I don't think that ever looks good for the person that lawyer is representing. But Iris, and there was someone else. Oh, okay, okay. She said I'm just a spectator. Okay, all right. No problem. No pressure. No pressure. Yours truly says they orchestrated this hit to try to get more attention to get him out. Okay, okay, okay. And there was somebody, I can't remember, there's another person that said something. And I was going to ask them to come up too, and I can't remember. I can't remember who they were. But yes, people, all opinions are welcome. It's like I said, you could get up here and you could possibly say something to enlighten someone else who may not know. You understand? So we're not here to judge you for your points of views or anything like that. Mega Politics says Tory innocent. Would you like to come up, Mega? Would you like to come up in the panel and give some put some meat on the bone as to why you say he's innocent? Chauncey Lynch says we need to protest. Let him go. Come on, hey people, let's come up in the box. Come up in the box. We're just talking. Mega Politics, peace and blessings. Welcome to you. How you doing today? Mega Politics. Your mic is muted. That might be why we can't hear you.
Hold up. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. How you doing? Peace and blessings.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So look,
Hmm.
I believe that the brother was a sacrifice, bro. Listen, a lot of things that's going on in that industry is wicked, bro. Like, this is bigger than Tory. This is bigger than Megan. All the things that we're looking at is just what they want us to see, bro. Tory is he'll sacrifice official lamb. If you go back and listen to the music that he was making, the man said he will not sell his soul, bro. He will not do it. And he will go to his grave believing in the Almighty, right? Everybody
Hmm.
knows. Everybody know that when it comes to that industry, that's what they after, right? That's the
Right.
whole. It ain't even got nothing to do with money. Ain't got nothing to do with fame. They want your soul, bro. That's what they want. Because that's the ultimate disrespect to our creator. You understand? We all
Absolutely.
right in a holy war and people don't even realize it. So when you go against God's people, it's nothing that you can do to stop what God already ordained. You know what I'm saying? That's why
Facts.
he got hit that many times and he survived. You understand? That's
Facts. Hmm.
Trump got hit and he survived. See, what you don't understand is how universal law works. Once something is written, there's nothing you can do to change that. Now, you can throw all the wickedness you want at it. You understand what I'm saying? You can throw all the wickedness you want at it. Because that's what he do. He deceives, he confuse, he divide, right? You could that's what the devil do. But
Correct.
one thing he can't do is create. He can't create. You understand? And
Hmm.
that's what he hate about our Almighty. He can't create. So anything that he create, that God has created, he want to destroy. You understand? Because
Right.
he can't create it. That's why he was kicked out. You understand? Because he
Hmm.
ran around telling all the angels he was gonna be the next man in line. But one thing he failed to realize, God created everything. So whatever you do, he gonna know in the dark, in the light. So while you conceiving and conniving and trying to backstab him, he already planning a place for you already. That's why he
Hmm.
created hell for him. But all those people that's going against Tory, bro, this ain't nothing to do with him. This is a holy war we in. And everybody that did wrong by that man, y'all gonna pay for it. They gonna all pay for it. Cause that man is protected. That man, if y'all don't know, Y'all need to do more history and stop looking at these blogs and looking at these stories and stuff people saying about. Go do the real history. Go back to when that boy was a little child. You understand?
Mm.
Go back and do that kind of history and see how his upbringing was. Go back and do Megan Thee Stallion upbringing. See, you got to go back and do these people history so you can understand where they at right now today and who they are today. And I know exactly who these people are. And whoever went against Tory, he coming out of there. Y'all better believe that. And then and here I'm gonna throw this out there, bro. I'm gonna throw this out there.
Okay.
Y'all know he was hit by Hispanics, right?
Right.
The Hispanic community did that to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, who around Jay-Z is Hispanic and got ties to the cartel and got ties to underground industry, and she is a Hispanic herself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she got power because she used to be around Griselda Blanco. You understand what I'm saying? So she got power. She connected. That's how that man got hit up in prison. You understand? That's how he got touched up in prison because she connected. I don't want to be involved in this stuff, but I know more than I should. And like I said, Jay-Z is just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time, bro. The clock is ticking on him, bro. The clock is ticking, and it's time to pay the piper. One thing about these people when they sell their soul to the devil that they don't know, he always come back to collect, bro. And he gonna collect when you least expect it. You gonna think you gonna be at the highest pinnacle, and he gonna say, oh, remember you signed that contract with me in blood? Now I want my payment back. You
Mm.
understand? Hold on, man.
Powerful.
I'm your best soldier. I did this for you. I gave you that many souls. I did this. I don't want to hear that. It's time for you to pay with yours now. That's what you signed up for. You know what I mean? See, that's what
Mm-hmm.
they fail to realize. It ain't no turning back once you do that, y'all. Don't ever do it. And I got one more thing I'm going to say, and this for my people. Because we are, all right, if you ever read the Bible, y'all, I read the Bible, I read the Quran, I read it all, right? I will never ever consider myself to be a part of any Christian religion. I am a spiritual person. I believe in God. And one thing I know is that he real and religion is fake, right? So look, don't ever, sins are sins, right? Everybody know a sin is a sin. But
Right.
some sins are greater than others, right? And this message is for my people. And the reason I say it for my people because if you look at the Bible, they talks about a scattered group of people that God favors more, right? And
Right.
if you look at the history of the black people in America and you look at our history and read the book and it matches up perfectly the same. But I'm gonna say this to say this.
Mm-hmm.
Sin is sin, but some sins are greater than others. And I want to tell my people, if you don't do nothing else in life, I don't care how many times you sin. You can sin against Jesus, you can sin against man, but don't you ever in your life blaspheme God or the Holy Spirit if you want to ever reach if you ever want to reach heaven, because that's the only sin that's never forgiven by God. So don't do it. So now that you know that information, you can't say you ignorant to it and you do it and don't and say I didn't know because I just told you. Don't ever do that. I don't care how many times you mess up in life, God will forgive you for it, but don't you ever blaspheme God. I don't care what these people
Right.
tell you. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, bro. I'm gonna land my plane. But it's a lot
Hey.
more going on than people see, man. They feeding you what they want you to know and keeping the real truth hidden. But go do your research before you get on these blogs and start spreading these false narratives, man. That man is innocent. The man was a sacrifice, and this is bigger than anything that we see right now on the surface. I'm telling you.
Heard that. I appreciate that, Megapolitic. I
All,
appreciate you.
all, all right, my brother. I appreciate you.
All right. Take care, man. Peace and blessings to you.
A bit.
Thanks. Okay. Okay. So that was good as well. So thank you to both of my panel guests. Once again, people, the panels are open. For the one in the live, you'd like to come up. We're speaking on Tory Lanez. I'm keeping an eye on the Puffy Jacket situation or court case. Nothing's going on yet. The update is that Cassie's supposed to finish her testimony this morning after the juror had left the room yesterday. The judge told defense lawyers they would have up to 5 hours to question her today. And I think this is the last day for her because she already told them prior to that she was on the schedule and let them know what her time frame is or that she was available. And also, it's alleged that Don Richards or Rashad, however you pronounce the name, I'm gonna call it Richards. Don Richards is supposed to take the stand today. Charlie Sprinkles, good morning, brother. Grand rising to you. How you doing? Speaking on Tory Lanez, the Tory Lanez situation. Anybody like to come up? Okay, hold on. We have someone who's requesting to come in the box, and that is my little brother. How you doing, little brother? Uh-oh. Is your reception bad? Yeah, it's not connecting, little brother. You there? There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go. What's going on, little brother?
I can't complain. You know how it is, man. We
I
live to see
feel you.
another day, and if God says it's our time, big brother.
Hey, there's nothing we can do about it, right?
Not a thing. Not a
What's your
thing,
take?
man.
What's your take on the Tory Lane situation?
Man, honestly, and this is because I kind of skim a lot of this stuff because their business is their business, and I don't want to poke my nose in it because I got my own stuff I gotta sit here focus on. But I'll tell I'll tell anybody when you choose to make certain decisions, when you choose to have certain people around you, it's always going to be an A or B situation. Very seldomly, there's that C situation. But again, it all depends on how how you're doing things, how you're living, and everything like that. Now, I can't speak on the character or the personal life of Tory or Meg Thee Stallion, but at the same time, everybody has their own lifestyle, and for them to live the lifestyle they have led, it has directed them into the situation that they are currently in.
Okay.
If this man is innocent, yeah, it'll eventually come out. At the moment, yes, he's guilty because he's in jail. I mean, anybody can say, he's innocent and free him, but I mean, at the same time, you ain't gonna land there if they don't have something to put you in there for. I know everybody has their own opinion on this, that, and the other, and I don't even speak on that because I don't want that type of energy in my life. But at the same time, you can only hurt yourself with however much ammo or rope you give somebody.
Right. I see what you're
So
saying on that, Logic. Okay. I appreciate you, little brother.
yeah, every now and then I try to say something positive. I say enough negative stuff to people all the time, so I got to say something positive every now and then.
Listen. That's what makes the world go round. We try to keep it in a positive perspective because the world is filled with enough negativity. Lord knows that.
Right.
You understand? So I appreciate you coming up and giving your insight on that, little brother.
I'll try. I'll hit you up later, big brother.
All right, have a good day. I love you.
All right, love you too, brother.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.
Love it. I love that. I love that. I love that dude, man. Anybody else? Come on. Anybody got any context to put onto it? Like I said, it's no right or wrong. It's no right or wrong. I mean, the only way we can be right is if we was there and saw it. If we saw what happened, then yeah, but we wasn't. So this is just us giving our perspective on what we think. So the box is open. I'm gonna give it about another 3 minutes. If nobody comes up, then we'll end the show, and I'll get back to doing my orders. I just wanted to come on here. Like I said, we had a request about this story, so I wanted to do it, and hopefully you all was here to hear the audio on what the attorney was saying. If not, we will have this episode posted on YouTube. You can follow me on my channel, G Smooth 404 on YouTube. This will be posted. If you miss any past shows, they'll be posted on that channel. YouTube, G Smooth 404. Sorry, seeing who messaged me. Anybody? Nobody? Nobody wants to touch it? Well, listen. Thank you for those panel guests that did come up. Let's give a shout out to them. You know, it's not easy coming up in the panel sometimes. You know, regardless of what you think, some people are going to have something to say about it. Some are going to agree with you, some are not. And the ones that's not, they are for sure going to uh, roast you on or whatever. And so, like I said, I just need people to just understand one thing. Let's just keep it mature. Let's keep it respectable. You understand? And if we got multiple people on the panel, we have implemented, me and my moderators have implemented, you got 2 minutes, and your mic has to stay muted until it's your turn. Hey, niece. Hey, look, hold on. Before we go, niece, would you like to come on and speak on the Tory Lanez, Meg Thee Stallion situation? If not, we're gonna end the show here. But I'm trying to get people's insight on here. Okay. So niece is gonna come up. Let's see. Let's bring niece up because I love her perspective on things as well. If I could, where you at? Send me a request, niece, because I can't find you on the list to invite you up. Amanda, it's supposed to be Don Richards. Cassie's starting out, but then it's supposed to be Don Richards.
There we go. Grand
Hey, niece,
Rising.
grand rising
I
to
had
you,
to run
beautiful.
back. I had to run back to Staples. I left my wallet in yesterday. Trying
Woo!
to hurry up and get home. Thank God it was there.
Yeah, get your monies, get your monies.
Right? Ain't nobody going there still nothing. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Right?
Niece, what do you? Okay, so it's coming out that he didn't. Uh,
I already
uh
knew Tory didn't do it. We all knew Tory didn't do it. If you thought Tory did it, no disrespect to anybody, but you're insane.
mhm,
Once they said that they didn't find any pum pum residue on him and they found it on her, that was it.
mhm,
That was it
mhm,
in a nutshell right there. This whole bodyguard coming out, they already knew that. What the issue is that they're mad because they couldn't get Tory to sign the type of contract they wanted him to. He wanted to be an independent artist and continue to make money on his own, and he was teaching his fans how to make money with him. So
mm,
you breaching their contract, all the contracts out there when it comes to like a consumer and a selling position, because now you're teaching people how to make money off of you, but you won't let us make money off of you. So
yeah, yeah. So,
that
so
was their way to get Tory up out of there. That was their
right,
excuse.
right. So you basically said he was teaching people how to cut out the middleman, so to speak, which is a record company, and get 100% of their royalty.
Of their royalties, and not just only their royalties, but he was teaching their fans how to make how his fans how to make money with him too. If he purchased a chain, if he purchased 10 chains and each one for $1, and he sell them to his fans for $1, how much you think them fans gonna sell them chains for?
More than that.
Because they came from who? Tory Lanez, right?
Right,
So you
right.
putting money in everybody's pocket but theirs.
Absolutely. Okay, and that's if I'm not mistaken, that's pretty much
What he was
something.
doing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty much what he was doing.
And if I'm not mistaken, Prince was sort of doing the
Doing the
same
same
thing.
thing.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we see
Teaching
what
their
happened.
people how to make money with them instead of making just money off of them.
Right, right. Okay, okay. I wanted to get your perspective on it because, people had different things to say.
They going
Uh,
to jail. They're going to jail now. Both of them,
crazy.
because y'all both got on the stand and lied right through your wigs. Lied.
She said they going to jail. Hey, so let me ask you this, because this I was thinking about when I was playing the video from, I think his name was Antoine
And they
out of
tried to
Daniels.
unalive him in the prison.
Well,
Did you see
well,
his dad up there talking about that? And TMZ reported that he wasn't hurt. And he was like, no, my son was hurt.
yeah, yeah. In fact, it was I can't remember his name, but it was a Hispanic guy. They said done it. But see, here's the thing, though, niece.
They
Allegedly,
paid that man to do that.
they're saying Camel Face
Paid
had,
that man to, of course. Because who does the horse work for? Who label is she or was she under? She was under
yeah,
Rockefeller, wasn't
right,
she?
right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly,
They
yeah.
wanted him. He didn't want to sign a contract with them.
Hmm. What
And
if
you
it
know what
was
they say about celebrities? They get you're worth more unalive than you are alive.
facts? Like Pac, Biggie. I think you
All of
know,
them.
all of them.
Michael
Yeah,
Jackson,
yeah.
Prince,
Pimp
all of
C.
them. Whitney, all of them.
Right, right. What if? And again, this hadn't been said. I'm just bouncing it off the
Just
wall,
asking a
right?
question.
Just asking
Mm-hmm.
questions, just a general question. Now, what if? Because allegedly, Puffy Jacket put Faith in a position to kind of keep tabs on Biggie, and she ended up having a relationship with him, a baby with him, stuff like that. But it was basically he planted her for that. What if Camel Face?
Like how they did Lauren London for Nipsey.
Yes, yeah. I love it when you see. That's why you're my niece. And so what if Camel Face did that with Megan Thee Stallion and
I
put
think
her
so.
you
I
see,
think
to
so.
try to lure? You see what I'm
I
saying?
think so.
Okay,
I think
okay.
so. I just don't. I think that she probably didn't intend to catch feelings, but she did. And also, it's a thing. It's like an ego thing. I feel like when it came to Meg, because if you knew that your best friend was dating him, because ain't no way y'all best friends, you gonna tell me she don't know you don't know who she's dating,
Right, right.
and
If
y'all
y'all
real
best
best
friends,
friends.
right?
Yes, you don't know who she's dating, even if she was off or on with him or whatever the case may be. Once she took a slice of pie out of that, she took a slice out of that pie. That's a do not touch.
Right,
Period.
right.
Whether
There's
she
no time
continued to
limit on
talk
that.
to him or stop talking to him, that was something you wasn't supposed to do as girl code. Like how y'all got guy code, girl code.
Right.
You wasn't supposed to touch that at all. That was a touch me not.
Facts, facts. I agree with that. I agree with that.
And you
I,
took
I
your
can see
whole
that.
bald headed self up there out of envious and jealousy because he probably let it be known that he liked her. And he didn't, and all you was a smash and pass, a try me not.
Hmm.
He tried enough and he didn't like. Because obviously he went back to messing with her.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, can't fault the man
Or
for that
he
if that's
kept,
how
I
he
should
felt.
say, he kept messing with her.
Right, right. Well, do you think that this could be an introduction to the fall of Camel Face?
That's their way to rope him in there, yeah. They ain't going to be able to catch him off Diddy. They're going to have
Yeah,
to
no,
catch him
that's not.
some other kind of way. That's not going to happen. His lips is sealed too tight for that to happen with that. That's the only way they're going to have to catch him. Is if that
Mm-mm.
boy, if he, is he still alive? The little Spanish guy?
Yes, he's still alive. They have. Well, he's already incarcerated, but yeah, they have him detained for that.
They probably have him in, they probably got Tory and, watch right now. They probably watching him and stuff.
Yeah,
And
I'm
they
glad.
probably got the
Thankfully, he
other one in
survived.
ice. Child. I
Hmm.
was like, what? They did what? The Tory did what?
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
too much. All because he did want to sign a contract. This is too much. You gonna make him sign this contract, ain't you? Huh? You
Doing
gonna make
extra.
him? Yeah, like the man don't want to do it. Like I can understand if I'm not even gonna say that, but
Yeah.
I'm being realistic. I can understand if somebody signed a contract because now legally
Hmm.
y'all own them because they didn't read the fine print, whatever the case may be. They should have did all of that before signing the contract. This poor man didn't even sign the contract. It's still getting bullied.
Still
Like,
got touched. Right. It still
yeah,
got
like,
messed up. Like, it's crazy.
yeah,
That's
he
crazy.
minded his own business, and yeah, here y'all come because y'all want. And he don't want to sell to y'all. He refused to sell his morality over to you guys.
Right.
He don't want to bend over and grab his ankles. He don't want to do
That
that,
part.
and
That
he's not
part.
going to do that.
And he has a right not to. You
Yes.
know, he has a right not to.
But you know what, too? They say it's something with the universe when you try to force something instead of having letting a person have free will.
Mhm,
It's some type of karmic debt that you have to pay for that.
mhm.
And in this instance, you guys are trying to force it without letting
Right.
this man have a free will.
Right. I
So your demise is unraveling. And I've noticed too, I haven't been seeing him and Beyonce together a lot lately either, especially at her tours. All you see is her and the kids. Well, her and
yeah.
the two girls, Blue and Rumi. You don't even see the little boy.
Yeah, I noticed that. I seen where she bought what was it? What's the girl's name? Not Blue, the other
Rumi.
one. Yeah,
Rumi.
she was on stage with her. Uh-huh. I did see
A
that,
few
niece.
times. She brought her
Hmm.
on stage a few times. You know, they got Blue out there dancing and stuff now. People ain't even paying to come see Beyonce no more. They paying to come see Blue.
What do you think that Blue may be the next in line to
That's what they
carry the
trying to make her
empire?
to. That's what they trying to make her into.
Hmm. Hmm. Jenny brought up
Well,
something.
from how Beyonce say it, she say like, she didn't want her into that
Hey, cuz,
lifestyle,
thank
but
you for that
she
heartbeat.
chose it. So
She
she
chose it.
chose it. It's nothing. Yeah, she. Well, I mean, if you're a child prodigy of both parents being super successful in the music industry, that's 10 times out of 10. And then you going with them to these concerts and stuff at a young age, sitting in and listening, going to studio sessions, that kind of like deter your mind on what you want to do. It
Yeah,
might
that's
not be
true.
in that same exact lane, but it's going to be in the
Something there,
facility.
right? Right. I got what you're saying, niece. I got what you're saying. Jenny says she thinks that they're trying to get Breezy that way. See Breezy, 'cause you know he got arrested.
Yeah, they trying to get my boy. They locked him up.
Yeah,
They
they
locked
did.
him
Yeah.
up. I said, wait, y'all gotta let him out. He got concerts coming up. Thank God I didn't buy a ticket this year.
Yeah. Well,
Cause I'd have had a fit refund, run me my ducats back. Matter of fact, whoever money y'all all took for these concerts, we better be getting in there for free. I don't give a damn about no $1,000 guest pass. You better use that as the bail to get them out.
he need to be on that stage. What
Do
I'm trying to tell
something.
y'all.
Yeah, he
Right.
gonna be up there. Out last year, he got stuck in the air. That was fine. He redeemed
Yeah.
himself. This year, he in jail. Listen, y'all need
Come
y'all to
on.
get it together with him.
Yeah. Well, this is not the first time he's faced something like this with them. So,
No, he stay in trouble. At this point, I think it's just funny
well, he
because
should.
y'all gonna keep bothering that man.
Right. He don't do
He
nothing.
bust. I think they said it's because he bust somebody in the head with a bottle in 2023. Why y'all ain't locked that nigga up in 2023? Why y'all gonna wait
Back
all the way
then.
to 2025 to come get him? A whole
Right.
two
Right.
years later, the person's stitches didn't healed up. They probably still going out to bars and
Doing the
clubs
same
doing
things. Right.
the same exact thing. Like,
You right. You right. Carlos, what's up,
why y'all
brother?
didn't lock that man up then? It's too late for a lawsuit. After 2 years, you can't do nothing.
Do you think it's because he owned his royalty? And I think he's like the
Yeah,
youngest person to ever own his royalty.
yeah. And you know who taught him
I
that?
mean,
Prince and Michael Jackson. They taught him how
yeah,
to probably how to get his royalties.
Yeah,
He paid
yeah, yeah.
attention. He paid attention and learned from their mistakes and got his stuff early on in the game.
Right, right. Let's bring up shit.
Like
Well,
Rihanna.
oh, you
Hey,
remember what
Chi.
happened with that?
But Bree was the
Hey,
only one. Hey,
good morning,
honey.
y'all.
Good morning. How you doing?
Grand Rising.
I'm tired,
I
man.
say
I was up all
Riri,
night.
you sound like it.
I was
Riri
just
was
doing
like
a
the
lot of
only
like,
artist
let me let her
that
finish.
was
I'm
able to
sorry.
get out.
Thank you.
I've
Oh,
been
I
up.
was saying, go ahead, finish your statement.
I'm sorry. I've been up since 4. I caught you guys talking about Chris Brown. I can't believe that. It's like, why? Why 2 years later? I'm
Yeah,
also dumbfounded. Why 2 years later? How can after, what were they trying to build something up against? I don't understand.
They don't have nothing else better to do.
I
And with
know.
the if people is paying attention, it's the decline of
Mm-hmm.
African American artists. No matter if you're a movie star, if you're a
Mm-hmm.
fucking a rapper, a singer, a country singer, it don't matter.
You're right.
They they're
right.
they're taking away, especially now that old boy is in office. Did
Mm-hmm.
y'all hear what
Mm-hmm.
he trying to do? He trying to bring all of YT people from
South
South
Africa.
Africa back. Piss me the fuck off. You know what? Bring them back. Bring them back and send me the fuck over there. That's what
Mm-hmm.
you can do. Send me over there, and
She
you can
said
bring who you
trade.
want over here.
Hey,
Listen,
what I should say? Trading places.
just trying to survive in
It's
this
trading
world right
places.
now, with everything
Yeah,
that's going on, and every day it's something different. Every day it's
It
like, oh my
is.
God,
It's too much. It's
this
too
is how I
much. That's
feel.
why people losing their marbles. It's too much.
So this is how I feel about Chris Brown, right? Okay. Okay, let me just get my thoughts together. All right. No man should ever put their hands on a woman. We know that, right? Because when
right.
you put your hands on a woman, you ain't a man. Okay? No woman deserves that. Chris Brown has come a long way. And I'm not talking about just him being talented, right? Because there's totally two different situations. There's his
His
talent,
emotion
right,
Hey, Bujo.
and the mental
right,
stability. He
right.
has come very far. His
Shashel.
emotional intelligence and his mental stability has definitely
Oh, okay.
came a lot further than what it was at that time, and that probably was a dark time for him in his life. But one thing I will say, I do not respect men who put their hands on women,
Diddy thing, right?
but I don't respect women who put their hands and antagonize men either. Because if
That's what
you
I'm
gonna
telling you.
act
I
like a
agree.
man, you gonna
100%.
get treated like a man.
Exactly.
That's it, and that's all.
Mm-hmm.
You initiated contact, and you done punched this man all in his face. You could have possibly, and I love me some Riri. I hate this topic because I
I
love them both
know. I know.
equally.
I love Rihanna too. I love Rihanna too.
But the truth is the truth. You
Yes.
enticed this man. You threw hands first. You're
Mm-hmm.
spitting, you're throwing hands, and all this other. He popped you a little bit. Bow. Okay, boom. He's driving. You about to
Mm-hmm.
take them off the road. Like you about to end you and him. You
Yeah.
lucky you didn't end up outside the car door tumbling down the hill.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah,
Cause
Listen, you're
that's
right.
what most men probably would have did. After the first hit, they would have pulled that car over, whooped your
Mm-hmm.
behind in that car, and then threw you out and then kept going.
Listen, triggering somebody is a motherfucker. Okay?
right.
Once that trigger hits, there ain't no stopping anybody, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And she's right what she's saying. I love Rihanna. I love her music. I think she's amazing. I love her life today with ASAP Rocky and her kids. I wholeheartedly feel that. But Hollywood is dark.
It
Dark.
is. It
Dark,
is.
But
man.
that camel face mother MF put I
She
had to
said
calm.
camel
I'm
face
trying to stop
motherfucker.
cussing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my God, I can't.
I had to stop myself because I'm trying to
I
stop
know,
cussing so much.
but I know how mad you get, right? Because every day somebody brings up Diddy to me, right? And they try to justify. Like, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but have you read these crazy comments on here? Seriously.
I
Yes,
don't even read the comments
unfortunately.
because all it's gonna do, Chi, is
I
piss me
know.
off.
I
That
know.
I
So,
don't even read the comments because people ignorance is at an
mhm.
all time high in 2025,
And
and
you
I
know
can't
what?
I can't afford to
I love that.
even
I love
lower
that.
my emotions to
I
even
love,
understand why you thought what you thought, like
right.
to that low. I'm sorry.
I love that about you because my husband said it to me. He's like, why you get so angry? Because like I go back and because I'm so passionate. Like about what I do, right? My podcast is going to start Monday. I'm excited about it, right? So I'm
Hold on.
trying to get all my.
Hold on. I don't mean to interrupt you. What's the name of your podcast?
Oh, you want to know? So
Yeah, we're trying to
you know.
promote it.
Okay, so my. I'm from Israel. I told you my name is very unique. It's Shikma, but I wanted to come up with something that nobody really had, right? So I took the nickname that they gave me, and I'm gonna put "Let's Talk Cheeky with It." That's
I
gonna be
love
my.
it.
Let's
I
talk
love it.
cheeky with
I
it.
love it. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it from her. Now, and
Yeah, I'm
when are
excited.
you
I'm
gonna start?
excited.
Monday.
Yes, everything. God willing, Monday. Everything. I was supposed to get it up and running today, but I'm like, I got to give myself. I've been doing a lot of research because you know me. I'm really about dissecting, and I only want to spit facts. I don't want to come up here and give false information to people because that's what's happening right now. Everybody is just, I get so mad because it's like if you want to spit and come up on all these platforms and talk, right? Do your homework at least. Know what you're talking about. Listen before
Right.
you open your mouth. Listen to everything. Let it sink in. Then come up here. People come on here and they want to be like, oh, well, she was, yeah,
That's what they sound
oh,
like.
listen, this guy, I don't know his name, but I had to get off his podcast. 100% manpower, Diddy, you could tell 100. I didn't even go on the panel because it was all men on there. He tried to say that, well, she got what she deserved. This is what he said. Because before she
But
met
don't
Diddy,
nobody deserve that.
yes, listen,
And
listen,
that's been the
listen.
narrative that I've been
Right.
hearing from most on these
Everybody,
podcasts.
even women. I can't get over it. How some women think that it was okay what
If
he
she
did.
signed up, what she signed up for it knowingly trying to get the big fish, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't negate the fact of what happened to her should have happened to
To
her.
her. Oh my God, I love you. I got chills.
Don't nobody deserve that to happen to them, whether
Mm-hmm.
they ask
Yes.
for it or whether it's unknown. Because I'm
100.
pretty sure it was unknown and then turned into a force of habit and then became comfortable. The same thing with
Mm-hmm.
fucking Tina Turner.
Yes. I saw a
You think
comment.
she liked getting knocked between the washer and the dryer? No,
No.
but what you call it, Stockholm syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Stockholm.
really a real thing.
It is a
People
thing.
really don't know that it's a real thing when
That's
the
why.
victim becomes so numb to the point where it's like, I don't even care anymore what you do to me because you done probably did everything under the sun to me already. That should not be okay for a human being to be treated like that in any
Mm-hmm.
form of fashion.
Mm-hmm. So
This
here.
person said disagreement is ignorance. No, disagreement is not ignorance. You have the right to disagree if you don't feel what
That
is
you
being
want.
said fits the criteria of what you're thinking. But in the same token, you can't disagree with facts. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Right?
Facts is facts and opinions is an opinion.
Opinion.
You
Totally two
cannot
different situations.
disagree
Yep.
with facts. The
Mm-hmm.
fact of the matter is this nigga been doing this shit for years. The fact of the matter is, it's countless women that he has done it to that we know.
Exactly.
They just kept
Exactly.
their
Bingo.
fucking mouth shut.
Not
The
just
fact
Cassie.
is,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not just Cassie.
he went and purchased a casket for his baby mother 3 weeks before she passed away. Why
Yes, I
aren't we
can't wait for
talking
that.
about the stuff that's relevant that can stick? You're talking
Wait, let
about
me ask you
but
something.
you gotta bring people up there. You got actual evidence. Bring that up there. Because the evidence can't lie to you.
Exactly. And that's what I say to everybody. They hate me. I'm telling you, man. After I say what I have to say, nobody responds to me. I'm like, listen, if you don't got the receipts, you're saying this, right? And you're talking all the smack, like, seriously. I'm telling you,
Prove it.
I'm not gonna deal with that on my podcast. People come in and start disrespecting you, you right out. Bye.
Girl, when I
Bye.
used to moderate a while ago, I was moderating for other people for a little minute.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't tolerate that. You came up there, listen, we're gonna have a pleasant day. Everybody gonna come up here,
Conversation.
we're gonna be
Yup.
respectful,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna listen to each other,
We
we're not
adults.
gonna overtalk each
Mm-hmm.
other,
That's
and we're
right.
gonna keep it at a minimum. You
Right.
start that nonsense, the
Yeah.
whirlpool you go. That's why that teacup and that spoon is there, because you're going in the sunken place, because you're not coming back up here either.
Exactly.
That's it.
Goodbye.
Hey, speaking of which, do you have? Because Jenny was asking you. You said you started your podcast Monday. She asked, did you have any moderators?
Moderators.
Not yet, but I think I'm gonna use my homegirl right here. I'm gonna use the people that I'm starting with. I like I told you when I met you, like, and I came on to you. It takes me to be interested in people that know what they're talking about, right? Because there's a lot of podcasts on here. You go on it, it's garbage. Garbage.
Mhm.
And it irritates the crap out of me because there's so much negativity and false shit that's being spit out to the world. You know? And I can
That's
see where,
true.
where people get confused, but come on, man. Common sense. Just her testimony alone is freaking damage. And the bits and pieces of what's being said, that, now you hear people calling him Pee Diddy, Diddler. I
Yes.
can't listen.
Also,
I
but
laugh.
my thing is, what makes it okay for certain people? I mean, if y'all
What?
found a little bit of evidence on him, if y'all found any freaking incriminating videos on him, didn't y'all lock R. Kelly up for something very similar?
At
And
100.
did. And did. Yes.
But the thing is, what they have Diddy on trial for and what his charges are is two different things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were trying to compare. And I said, look,
You can't
you can't
compare,
compare.
dummies.
You
That's
can't
where y'all
compare.
about to mess up at.
100. You can't
You're trying to
compare.
put something on him that don't have nothing to do with what you're talking about.
And I said it too. I was like, you can't compare R. Kelly's trial, or
Mhm.
what R. Kelly did, right? You can't
Mhm.
compare it to Diddy because Diddy, listen, this is bigger than Diddy, and we know that, right? Because once it's going to be a dominoes effect, right? Once this is over, I 100% believe they're going to find him guilty. It takes one person on that
Yeah,
panel
they
because
gonna find him guilty. He ran away with $3 billion from them people that liquor company. Yeah, they gonna find
yes,
him guilty. They
yes,
want his
Mhm.
head.
They want his head.
They gonna strip you of everything, publicly humiliate you, and they're gonna humiliate you to the point where your children are gonna have a hard time.
So let me ask you guys a
And
question
did.
real quick because somebody asked me this yesterday. They were
Okay.
like, if he gets convicted and he's put in population, do you think they're going to take him out?
Absolutely, they tried to take out
100.
Tory for nothing, and he ain't signed a
100.
contract.
Yeah,
Tiffany,
man, I
thank you for
feel
that
bad.
daily heart, me love. I
They
appreciate it.
gonna knock him between the washer and the dryer.
Hold on one
Listen,
second. Hold on one second. Let's
Diddy.
give it up for Tiffany. She became the 17th member of our team.
Hey,
Thank you, thank
Tiffany,
you, thank you,
thank
Tiffany.
you.
how the hell do I become a member? Am I a member yet?
At the top
Okay.
Mhm.
with the little gold heart
Heart?
and the
Okay.
plus.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna knock my man's between the washer and the dryer. He ain't
Uh,
got no
hey, thank you for the
safety
love,
or
the TikTok love, Tiffany.
he don't have no ends or buts. Diddy better get real comfortable.
Yes.
Because even I don't care if they let him out or if they keep him in. If they keep him in, you're just gonna be in a cage for the rest of your life.
Were the
So
girls? Were the
they let
girls?
you
Happy
out.
Friday, Tiffany.
Were the
They let
girls? Were the
they let
girls
him
there?
out. They gonna knock him between the washer and the dryer. They gonna uh put a hit out on him.
On the
Yes.
laundry duty.
Say
Yes, yeah, they're gonna mess his ass up. If they throw him in population, he's done. But honestly, like I feel like he shouldn't get special, and be, listen, you did your shit. You a big boy. You P Diddy. You got all the power. Throw him in population.
he gonna be
Throw him in
like Suge. He
population.
gonna be in there running
uh,
the prisons.
Hell yeah, they're
uh,
gonna tap. He
hey,
hey, he likes all that. He likes all that booty sex too, right? Right.
Tiffany just brought up a great point in the chat. She says they need him. He's key to exposing the rest of them, and
Mm-hmm.
he has the receipts.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the whole
That's
100.
point.
true.
That's the whole
Listen.
point. For him to not only just expose them, but also that's the hidden point for the good side.
Right.
Bad
Right.
side of this is they want to get him most definitely out of there
Yes.
because you played in their face. How dare you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How dare you sue us and take money from us? How dare you thought you was going to
Listen.
get away with it? How
I
dare
think.
you?
I
It's a
think you're.
lesson that's being taught here more so than trying to help.
Right.
It's going to help. It's flipped in the end to make it seem like, well, he's helping clean the streets off, which it would be a big help so they can pinpoint. But how many of
Mm-hmm.
y'all going to keep letting fall between the cracks? Stop playing with me.
Yes.
Stop
Oh
playing
my
with me. I
God.
just watched a video yesterday of a police officer who pulled a judge over and didn't know she was a judge and broke her. Did y'all see that video? And broke her tail
Uh-uh.
light, covered his camera, broke her tail light, and then talk about she had a broken tail light and didn't know she was a judge. And they gonna
Mm-mm.
tell
Uh-uh.
her she don't look like a judge.
No,
Okay, so
I
how you
didn't know.
supposed
I
to
didn't hear
look?
that.
How you
That's what
supposed
she
to look?
said. That's what she said. He was like,
Wow,
not like
man.
you.
These people, man, I'm telling you, I don't know what's wrong with people today. You ever sit there and have a like totally off the grid, have a conversation with somebody, and you're like, what? Like they,
Yeah.
huh? It's like, what? And
Hold
sometimes
on.
I just don't even say anything because I'm like, you know what? This is just not. I'm not even built for this because there's no conversation.
Hey,
What
Hold
conversation?
on.
Tiffany.
Yeah. Hold
Hey
on. Hold on one
y'all,
second,
happy
lady.
Friday.
Happy
Happy
Friday.
Friday.
Y'all, and you changed your name, Mr. Breaking News, so I didn't even know who you were before when I came in, but I knew
Oh
I
no,
knew
no.
you.
They permanently banned my original account for doing
Yeah.
things like this.
I was wondering what happened because I was like, who is this guy? I know him. And then I was like, then I saw your hashtag on one of your videos and I was like, okay, I thought that was him, but now I get it. They
Yeah.
put a warning on mine. That's why I haven't been really posting a lot. But
Yeah.
he's playing chess, y'all. He's not trying to expose the industry. It's more of like a vindictive thing. He said he's not going down alone. Do
I
y'all
told y'all he
Hmm.
thought
He's not.
he thinks he's Nino Brown. When would y'all listen to me? This man
Right. She's so
thinks
right.
he's
Oh my
Nino
God.
Brown
Wait,
in
wait.
real life.
Just his expressions. Now that she said that,
No, but
I'm thinking of
Yeah.
Nino Brown.
real
I swear to
life.
God. Think
but
about it.
do
His
y'all
face expressions when
remember?
he doesn't smile looks like Nino Brown. Oh my
I'm
He
God.
telling
does.
you, he thinks he's Nino Brown in real life.
What was you saying, Tiffany?
I don't mean to interrupt. I'm
No,
sorry.
no,
It's
you
okay,
fine. You
man.
fine.
Do y'all remember whenever this first happened in October? There were rumors and TikTok clips of one of his jets being flown overseas to other countries. Allegedly, he sent off a bunch of like tapes and stuff, evidence that he has. That's just a rumor. That's not. I don't know that that's factual.
Yeah.
But I would believe it. I think that this could go on and on and on,
Oh,
y'all.
it's
Like
gonna be
we
a
haven't
while.
even
Mhm.
touched the tip of the iceberg.
It's the beginning.
Absolutely.
I'll be
Well,
sure it's gonna testify. You guys know he was subpoenaed. Did you see the
yeah,
Did you see the video? I'm sorry, the interview.
yeah,
They
yeah.
asked
He
him.
said he's
They.
going
But
to.
Albie Ben said he was going to test it because he think he did that to him to put him in a hospital.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To your
It's
And
point, Tiffany.
I would think he did too because didn't all of them be unalive from the same exact thing?
Pretty.
Kim,
Pneumonia.
ammonia.
Andre Harrell, Heavy D,
Listen.
didn't they
Listen.
all was unalive from the same exact
Let me
thing?
let me say something real quick. Okay. Remember? Okay. Just yesterday, I saw too. He is starting to spit out names.
Mm.
Ashton Kutcher. Did you see that? And Amelia Kunes.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
are fuck.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't want to curse. They are
Hmm.
literally spooking in their pants right now. He is giving up names.
Hmm.
Leo DiCaprio, you can't find him nowhere.
No,
Yeah, he
he
took off.
gone.
He
He
Fled the
gone.
gone.
country.
He been
Well,
gone.
didn't
But that's what I'm
That's the
saying.
Ashton
It's
first
a lot of
name Diddy named on his
didn't
list
Ashton
was
leave the
Leo.
country too?
no.
Ashton Kutcher, I don't know, but
I don't think they left.
I'm
I
hearing
don't
room,
think they left. I don't
I'm
think him
hearing
and Amina. I
no.
don't think they left. I think they're still here. But it's a couple of them that did leave the country, and they left the country like a couple
Like
years ago.
Ellen left.
Yeah,
Listen, Ellen hauled ass right before they came, the feds. You guys noticed that? She hauled ass to a
yeah.
Hmm.
different country, which is she lives in London. And
Hmm.
video, the last video she made, you saw all that guilt in her face.
Yeah.
She was
Well,
sitting
not
there
just
crying, talking
with the
about,
situation with Diddy, she got a lot going on too. Because if they when they start going down this rabbit hole and find who's tied to who and these people that's being unalived and
you
so
think
on and
Twitch?
so forth,
You think Twitch
they
is
Yeah.
ain't
gonna
gonna
come
have
up?
enough jails.
I do.
I think
I
she
do too.
unalived Twitch. I think she had
Me
to.
too. And his wife, I don't know, man. She makes me feel. Twitch's ex-wife makes me feel a little weird.
Yeah.
I don't,
I was rocking
you
with her in the
know.
beginning, but
Me
now I don't
too,
know.
man.
He make me
Like
feel
how
like
you
that
gonna
she
sit
was a
here?
part of the plot.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. How you
Yeah.
gonna sit here after all this time, come up with some shit that he was on drugs and come on now, Twitch
That
looked
man
like
was never
nah, he
on
looked
no.
like he was. I love Twitch. The way he danced and he would come. He made people feel good, good.
He did.
Okay, I'm pretty sure everybody has shit, right? Because you only see from the outside. You never know what people go through from the inside. Inside
Right.
looking out, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm pretty sure that he wasn't perfect. Nobody's perfect, but man, to say that he went to a hotel and sat there, not even too far from his home, and just unalive himself, man. Come on
If
now.
you gonna do something
Well,
like that, no funniness. If I'm gonna do something like that, I'm gonna do that shit in my own home,
Yes.
in the
hold
comfort of my home.
Mhm.
couple of things with that. A couple of things with that was said. Now, what was said or stated, uh, pretty much not too long after his demise,
Passing.
Yeah, it was stated that he told his wife he had a meeting with some people,
Mm-hmm.
and he pretty much let her know, look, this is what's going on. But when he got to that meeting with whoever the people were,
It wasn't
there
what he
was
thought.
right, and they ended up basically holding him captive and trying to get information out of him that he didn't. I don't know if he didn't know the information or he just chose not to.
To say
Oh, it
no.
sounds like they went and beat my boy down for information, and then
That's
once he spilled
exactly
the
what it
beans,
sounds like.
they
Right.
unloaded the
They
clip.
off them.
They
Mm-hmm.
off him.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
Right.
Sad
So
man.
yeah, he definitely didn't. I'm not gonna say he did. Put it like this. I don't think he did it himself. I believe that story more so than him doing it himself.
We
You
watch
know.
movies like this is what really pisses me the fuck off. Excuse my French, y'all. When people try to insult our
Right, Jenny.
fucking intelligence,
Oh
y'all
man.
see this shit in movies. Like,
Yes.
what was that movie with Jason Statham, the mechanic? How he was the assassin and he was going and creating accidents that make it look like people was doing shit to themselves and
Mm-hmm.
stuff was
Mm-hmm.
naturally happening.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
y'all put it in fucking movies for
Well,
us to
then,
know what y'all do. So why would you not think that I think that y'all are sending hit people out here
That's
to
right.
take the
That part.
people out?
but
Okay.
That
did
part.
y'all see Blink Twice? Who directed
Yes.
that movie? Like, come on, y'all.
Ooh. It
Zoe
was
Kravitz directed the
yes.
movie.
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
Lenny
Yes.
Zoe
Mm-hmm.
Kravitz's
Kravitz directed the
daughter.
movie, and Zoe Kravitz's father, which is Lenny Kravitz, him and Diddy was cool. So at some point in time, Shorty was at them parties. So for her to come, your imagination ain't that motherfucking broad, boo.
Well,
But
and
what
You had
what
to
what
see
I
some shit.
agree with you on is the fact that it's always in our face. We're not hip to actually believing those movies, but usually what's going on in the movies is what's really happening because the world is a stage, and I agree with you 100%.
100.
facts, facts.
Mm-hmm.
I want
Mm-hmm.
to say something to you too, Tiffany, because you was bringing up as far as Puffy Jacket's plane being in the island or off, in another country or whatnot, and
Mm-hmm.
him hiding stuff. I want to take us back to the original or the first phone conversation that was leaked, and he was asking his
The
son
pizza boxes and
Oh yeah.
stuff.
Wait. Are you
exactly.
talking about the
Yes.
pizza boxes? And he's
Did
like,
they
has
dispose?
Yes,
Did they go in there and
wait.
dispose of all the pizza boxes?
And then he was
right.
like, has Jay stopped by? And he
Exactly.
was
You
like,
got it.
nah, man, he must hate Jay-Z, man. Let me tell you, it's gonna be a riot. I'm telling you, Jay-Z's going
Well,
down.
but
Can't wait for that.
listen though, people are going to argue against us, right? Because of what we're
Mm-hmm.
saying and our stance and our point of views on the situation. But if they just slow it down and listen, out
That's
of
what
that
I'm
whole
saying.
conversation, he did not mention anybody else's name but Camel Face. So that already puts you. Why would he only ask for Camel Face if Camel Face didn't have anything to do with it?
You
You see
know,
what I'm
you know
saying?
why he would ask for Camel Face? Because Camel Face is his best chance of him getting out of anything unscathed as much as possible.
100%.
But
Exactly.
I
He's
don't
right.
think
Exactly.
Jay-Z, I don't even like to talk about them because I feel like it puts a target on your back. But I don't think they're gonna go down. I think they're in too deep. And then with her doing like Santeria and working with witchcraft and stuff,
Yeah.
I just think they're too deep in the game and they haven't went against the grain like Diddy. So I feel like the feds will protect them because that's the world we live in. I hate to say it, y'all, but that's just how I
No.
feel.
Listen, they're gonna try. They're gonna try to take him down because Diddy is gonna speak. I really do feel he's gonna speak. Because at the end of all this, when he realizes, his sentencing
Oh,
and what's
you ain't
gonna
had no
happen.
friends. You
Ho-
ain't had
ho-
no friends from the beginning when you came
Hold on
into
one
this.
second, ladies. 1 second, ladies. Hey,
You
Ebony,
right?
would you like to come up in the panel? It's okay. You have a different perspective, but I just want to hear it. You can come up in the panel.
Bro, y'all wrong. LOL. Get out. Y'all stop. Well, Ebony,
I,
until it is proven in the court of law, nobody is wrong. This is just
yeah, we
our
don't know
opinion.
that.
We
We're
have
just stating our
people have
opinions.
opinions like how everybody has an asshole. Okay,
It's all
so we're
alleged.
stating our opinions on what we think.
Oh my God, you are my long lost sister. I love you.
Okay, well,
Oh,
Ebony, let me know when you can come up, and we'll gladly have you up in the panel. Listen, no pressure.
yeah. No pressure.
We
We,
just
we
want to
want to
hear.
hear what you got to
It's
say.
not no pressure because I do want to hear what you got to say because
Me too.
like I said, we going off of facts, right?
Mm-hmm.
We basing what we know off of facts. The only thing
Everyone's respectful. We won't be mean to you.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
you know,
no.
you're saying
no, because
Beyonce's
it's her
innocent, right?
opinion.
Right.
It's her
She
opinion.
saying
Come up here.
Beyonce is innocent. You under that Beyonce? I used to love me some Beyonce too, girl, and I got
Me
from under
too.
that hypnotized spell.
Me too.
Okay, you say I'm a Houston girl, so I ride or die for Beyonce. Okay, well, a Beehive. I'm sorry, moderators. Okay, well,
Okay.
let me ask you this, Ebony.
Who was
I want
mean
to
to
ask.
that girl? Who was mean to Beyonce? Ain't nobody mean to Beyonce. We wanted
I'm
Beyonce to get
just
out.
saying
We know
that
she was being
she practices
controlled.
We haven't
witchcraft.
even
That's
mentioned
all I'm
Beyonce.
saying. Like, I'm not
But
trying to be
even if
mean
she,
to her.
but what she
Yeah,
came out and said that out her mouth, right? And having other people who came out and said that she practices Santa Maria and things of sort.
Yeah, she's practicing witchcraft. Facts.
So
Facts.
what's the problem?
That's not saying nothing mean about your girl. It's just spitting facts. You know, if you have some facts about your girl, come up here and talk to us. You
I'm
know?
just saying how everybody be defending B.
I know,
And
man.
I used to love me some B, but
Me
that's
too.
really what really turned me off is how everybody defend like she's innocent, innocent,
Man,
innocent.
she knows.
I'm not saying that
She
B is
knows.
guilty,
Me
but
too.
at some point in time, like I said, everybody in Hollywood had to do something
Mm,
to
to
get to the
get something.
position
Yeah.
that they're
that
in.
they're in.
Yes. Yes.
So
When you practice witchcraft, though, it's a no for me. It's a I'm not going to listen to your music. Like, I'm not judging,
Are you
but
ready to come up?
that doesn't align with my spirit.
Yes, I agree
Yeah.
with you. That's some wicked stuff, man. I try not to, do you keep me out of it because I don't
Hey,
like that
Ebony.
stuff either. All that
Good
foolishness.
morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Ebony.
Grand
Welcome to the panel.
Rising.
Oh, hey, I was being facetious talking about that. There was a panelist who we all made mad because we were not agreeing, and so I was like, "Nah, y'all
I'm
made that girl."
crying. Now she came in here trolling.
Hey, I like
Man.
that
Good
girl.
night,
She was actually
Ebony.
in here. That's my girl.
No, but for real, we've heard this for years. That I feel like, and I'm not everyone here is black, but I always say black people, but I think the general public who knows anything about, you know, pop culture always says somebody sold their soul to the devil to reach success. Only person I really agree sold their soul is, obviously Diddy and Kanye, because Kanye's on some real crazy stuff right now. And I just
I
feel like,
agree.
the devil toying with him. My girl Beyonce, I just don't see it. I don't see the Santeria. She's a good Christian girl.
How
Uh,
you gonna say she a good Christian girl like you let
because
a
I
girl
know
go to
her
church? Ebony, I'm not about
pastor.
to play with you. She
I
don't
know
go to
her
church.
pastor. Okay, I know her
She
pastor.
go to church.
She go to church. Yeah, she
What
does
church
so
she
much.
go to?
I forget the name of the church, but the pastor's name is Rudy.
You
The
know you
pastor's name
can't
is
you
Rudy.
can't serve two gods,
The
right? We're
pastor's
practicing
name.
Santa Maria and
What Santeria? Can y'all please send me the facts for that? Because no one has.
you can't serve two
So
gods.
she says in I don't know if it's a clip or a song, but she talks about how she works with Orisha and Oran. It's like African black magic, but Santeria is more of like a Spanish Catholic,
Yes.
like a.
A lot of Spanish people believe in that
And J
witchcraft.
Lo
The
has
thing.
even
Practice
said
it.
that
Yes.
she works with Santeria. It's a lot to wrap your mind
It's
around.
just like hoodoo. She might do hoodoo because
Yes. Yes.
ain't she Creole? Her mother
I think
or
so.
her mother's side of the family, they
I think
Creole.
so.
Ebony,
So
where'd you go, girl?
she got a phone call. She got the coffee
Oh,
cup.
she did.
Oh, I think she got that. I think a lot of people got that when she did the Lemonade album, and it was the song "Hold Up," and then she did have on that yellow dress that the Eurisha whoever wears. There's a lot of similarities in that in the visuals of it all. But to say someone actually worships and does something, I don't know for sure, but doesn't seem like it to me. I don't know. I'm under a spell
Well,
right
do
now.
you?
Girl, you under that spell. It ain't gonna
Sure
seem like
am
it
Ebony, do
trying to spend
you?
some
I
money to
want to
buy
ask you a
these
question.
tickets too.
yeah, see, you under that spell. You willing
Ain't
to
got no
spend
job, but I'm
a
going to
more
that concert.
not I ain't
Hold
got
on.
no job. She
Tiffany
willing to
wants to
pay a
ask you a question,
mortgage.
Ebony.
Yeah.
Do you remember the movie American Pie?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is a girl on there. It's not Tara. Is it Tara Reid or is it the other chick? So one of the main actresses on there. She has a big TikTok account
Mm-hmm.
here on TikTok, and she talks about with a podcaster how her career was ended whenever they didn't offer her it once, not twice. I think it was 3 times. But they told her that she had to drink the golden juice. I don't know what the golden juice is. You can use your
I
imagination.
know what it
Yeah.
is. The context
Mm.
clues. We all know what it is. It belongs in a
Yeah.
bowl.
But she stated that to be in the elite, to be in the rich and famous, to be in Hollywood, and this is all alleged because we know how TikTok is and we're just talking.
Mm-hmm.
She stated that you have to do something messed up to keep your fame. So I don't think that people think,
It's
you
like
have to
selling your
sell your
soul.
soul. I think it's just that there is like an elite club. And if you
Yeah.
want to be in it, there's levels to it. And you have to keep doing what they tell you to do. That's why a lot of the actors have to, the men have to wear skirts or dresses. They dehumiliatize them and make them look
Disgusting.
stupid. So that way everyone knows, like, there's just a lot to it. It sounds crazy, but I think really to be famous, you have to do some stuff
Well,
similar to
Diddy,
selling your soul.
well, Diddy must be in overtime then.
Yeah, he is. He in overdrive,
See,
man.
now
Speaking
you
of
now you see.
Puffy Jacket, let's read the latest that's coming in right now. The judge says you are all under oath. His defense person says, Ms. Ventura, you believe Mr. Combs was blacked out for the uh, Intercontinental event. Cassie says, I believe he was intoxicated. Everyone's definition is different.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what's the name? Estavo,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. All right. He says, how do you pronounce that?
Stavo.
Estavo. Okay, thank you.
Stavo. You gotta have like that little Spanish slang.
Ah, got you. Gotcha.
Stavo.
Estavo. Okay. He said, but you said blackout. All right. And then Estavo says, what did you write here? Cassie said, I wrote, when you get uh uh the wrong way. And then Estavo says, you meant D rugs?
Mm.
And Cassie said, and alcohol. Gustavo says, here, Mr. Combs writes to you, I am so, uh, when you're in the mood with the H word, for you. And then the prosecutor says, this is not in evidence. So that's where we're at right now as far as the trial is going.
Damn. They need to finish with Cassie because she's gonna go into labor.
Yeah, well, this is the judge let them know they only got 5 hours with her
Yeah.
today.
So yeah, she
So,
needs to be done.
did y'all see that Audrey O'Day and Denise, what's her name? Richard, what's her name? His old girls, they're next to
Donald.
testify.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Listen, I don't know how y'all feel, but I don't think his daughters should be in there, man. It's too
They're
gruesome.
not there.
No.
They haven't been there since like
Yeah,
the
I
second day.
noticed yesterday. I didn't see. I saw the boys coming out. That's about it. But yeah, I
Yeah, the
think it was
girls
too
didn't
much,
show.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and but so I was reading about the charges because I was like, what the world? So apparently it's a RICO conspiracy, which means that they don't have to prove a lot to get a RICO conspiracy um, charge to stick into even to find him guilty. But it does open the doors for a lot of people, a lot of celebrities, a lot of powerful men, and just people in general to be charged with RICO conspiracy because I mean the guidelines behind it is so loosey goosey that I mean anybody can get in trouble for anything. And I
Yeah,
think if he
the
does,
feds, they have I think, and my friend, he does this Diddy stuff too. I think he was telling us that the feds have a 98% conviction rate. So,
Right.
but the RICO thing, the thing that y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't seem to understand it because RICO is organized crime. So therefore it involves multiple parties, not just one
Yes.
person.
That's
but
why I
I
said it's
think
bigger than
So
Diddy.
I think
here,
Roger Bonds is going to talk, and Roger Bonds was a security officer, security guard, and I think you can add just a bunch of different people doing a bunch of different stuff for him to
Mm-hmm.
become a RICO conspiracy charge, which is
that's what it is.
truly
Mm-hmm.
BS.
Right. So that yeah, they're saying, like, for instance, I'll give you one of the instances that they was talking about a couple of days ago when Cassie left him and she was at her apartment and her friends were there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Puffy Jacket showed up with his bodyguards, right? His
Mm-hmm.
security detail, and he busted into her house and he not only assaulted her,
He assaulted her friend. I know
He
where you're
assaulted
going
her
with this.
friend. Right.
That's why I don't talk to Cassie no more.
Right. So that's why. Okay. So when that happens, he brought people with him, and including his drivers. When he would have his drivers go and pick her up to bring her back. So a
Yeah.
disagreement or whatever. These are all people that are participating at his direction, knowing that it's wrong. It's criminal activity.
But
And
why aren't they charged with him? That's where when I've seen
because
people
he's the
get hit
big
with
dog.
RICO charges, they're all going down at the same time. It's not maybe because it's federal, maybe it's because it's like a celebrity, but RICO is multiple parties. That's a pyramid of people working together doing
Yes.
organized crime. It's like
Well,
the mob.
well,
Well,
yeah, but you know, if you also look at some of the stuff, the way Cassie testified with the prosecution, she said some key things. Like she said that she had a 10 album deal, only released Diddy only released one, and then her
Yes.
job was to be
His
that's what she
escort.
and
Kind of his
those
escort.
things are keywords to basically say that he employed her to be
coercion.
yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so those
Right.
are all things that I think are just truly unfortunate for him that I mean, make him an easy target. The way they're wording these things, the way Cassie's telling the story, and so, yeah, that part. And I think Roger Bonds is going to talk because Roger Bonds talked for Pierce Morgan, so I'm sure he talked to
As
everybody.
as he should. He was there. He witnessed a lot of it too.
Hmm.
Well, coming in from court. Say it again. Estavio.
Stadia.
Why
Okay.
does it sound like
look,
some
when I point, you
Spanish
say the name.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Nacho gave him the name. He got the same
I'm
name
so
as Mario, but it's a S.
right.
Stadio. That's Italian. Listen, the way I'm saying it, Stadio.
He says. Oh, here you go.
Stadio.
Says here, Mr. Combs is asking you for Smex soon after the Intercontinental, right? Cassie says, I was saying who he felt.
Stadio.
Says, what did you write back? Cassie said, I wrote, we need a different vibe than Friday at the Intercontinental.
Wait. Time out. My head started spinning. The what
yeah.
continental?
The Intercontinental, the hotel that's I
Yes.
believe it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like that name. The
Mm.
Intercontinental. And why? Because I think of John Wick. The Continental.
Oh, the
Oh my
Continental.
God.
You right. You are so right. Ooh,
He is
ooh,
right.
ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Well, I
Ooh.
don't want to ruffle any feathers and it's all in love, but do y'all think that Cassie is truly a victim or do y'all think that she
It's
is
50-50. It's
Hmm.
50-50.
I
Go
I
his
like
don't
way.
that
think she, I
answer.
think, I believe it's 50-50 because I'm a realist. We will
Right.
always keep it real no
Right.
matter what.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's 50-50. I think she started off a victim.
Yes.
I
Agreed.
think she started off a victim and end result she was able to get away.
Hmm.
She can't start off the victim, y'all. She started off liking it, and then she was like, then she started
Uh
getting beat up.
okay. Now
Well, Tina
my
Turner,
answer
right?
to it.
Tina Turner started off a victim, right? Because she was manipulated, right?
Well, and that's what I
She
was gonna
was
say. Okay, you got it.
manipulated into a situation.
But
Okay,
at what
okay, that's
point?
trure. But this little girl, Cassie, she was no victim. That girl was a mastermind. First off, y'all remember she left Ryan Leslie out here lying, pretending like she had a big. I fell to the floor when she
Did
said,
she leave? See,
"No,
now you gotta
listen, wait."
start
She said,
questioning stuff.
she
Did she
said,
leave Ryan Leslie or was she forced to leave
No,
Ryan
listen.
Leslie?
She said she started liking Diddy. So she even went to extremes to tell Ryan Leslie she had an event to work at in Miami. Whole time she was going to see Diddy. So she made a whole fake flyer to show Ryan Leslie to lie. Okay? And that's extreme.
She said she did that?
Yeah.
Well,
She's
at
a
what
cheater. She's a
point
cheater. She
though?
was cheating on Ryan Leslie. She went to the next bigger boat. Diddy had the yacht. Ryan Leslie had the little paddle boat.
But then that goes back to saying, right?
She can
Just
put the
because she
back
wanted the
down.
bigger fish
Okay,
doesn't
my husband
mean
needs to
that
Wait,
go.
she deserved the
hold on, everybody.
treatment that
We
she
overtalk.
got,
We can't hear
though.
everybody.
Oh boy.
Sorry, my husband doesn't know. He don't know etiquette.
No, it's cool. I just want
It's
to make sure
okay.
everybody's heard.
No, I was just saying. It's the simple fact of the matter is, even though she left from him to a bigger fish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's not negate the fact of what happened to her still happened to her.
Exactly.
Hmm.
That's the whole
That
point of
still
it.
happened to her. Whether she didn't go in there trying to date this man with the intentions that she was going to be having to sleep with multiple men, she didn't
Yeah.
go in there with the intentions or thinking that the fact that she was going to have to be urinated on or whatever,
Yeah.
being
Or,
beat and
or going
anything
through this for
else. She didn't
years.
go in
But
there
wait a
with
Right.
minute,
those
wait a minute, because
intentions.
I
She
want to
went in
say
there trying to
something.
get with a man
She
so
did say
basically he can take care of her because that's what is given.
she did say that she was there. She liked the swinger lifestyle. She didn't. That's what she said. She said she liked the swinger lifestyle. So she did go there with the intention of swinging. Some people like the swinger lifestyle. I mean, you know what I mean? They enjoyed going to sex clubs. I mean, that's just what he liked to do, and she was for it. Then she got tired after all them damn mouth sores. She got tired of all that because that I mean when you get UTIs so often that the antibiotics don't work. I mean you get tired, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, speaking to your point on that, let's hold on. You with me? Chick. What's you? Oh, here, you ready?
Astadio.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Combs wrote F Friday. I don't even want to do that again. What did you write? Cassie says I wrote laugh out loud. True.
Astadio.
Fabio.
Says Mr. Combs suspected you of having an affair with someone else in the industry. What happened when he took your phone? All right, so we waiting on her to respond to that.
Okay, wasn't she messing with Kid Cudi
Mario.
at a point too? Didn't they say he blew up Kid Cudi car?
100. Yep.
And did and did.
He sure did.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. Uh, Cassie responds, "We were in a car. He told me to call my mother. When I did, he grabbed my phone and took it.
Astadio.
Says it was a big fight. Cassie says he was just gone.
Astadio.
Says for how long? Cassie says a few hours until my mother called the police. Then it goes on to say,
Astadio.
says Mr. Combs, go through your phone. She says, I think so. And he called someone on it.
Astadio.
Says the person you had an affair with is an NFL
Come
player.
on, Doc. Help me out here.
Cassie says, I don't know if he's playing anymore. I didn't even know about it. Okay. And then he says,
Astadio.
yep. But he was an NFL player and he was jealous. Okay.
Wow.
We'll wait. We'll see where it goes from there.
How dare you get jealous? How
Yeah.
dare you get jealous when you were still messing with Kim? How dare you get jealous?
That's a whole nother
How
subject.
dare you get jealous?
That's
If
how
you are
those
part of
kind
the
of men
swingers
are.
lifestyle, right? Back to Ebony Point, right? Because they're swingers lifestyle. You can't get jealous when you're
If that's
in
what,
that type of lifestyle.
Yeah. 100.
But let's
just right.
Facts.
nobody. I know many people who thought swinging might help their relationship, and they all end up in divorce or in a
Yes.
bunch of nonsense because it's just human nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for years, Kim allowed Diddy to do all kinds of stuff. All them
Did she
kids are the
allow
same age.
him, or did he do it? Or
All
was
them
it
kids
That
are
forced
the
on
part.
him?
same age.
That part.
Okay, all them kids are the same age. So if you keep having babies with a man and he keep doing that, you are allowing him to do that.
So at what point do we hold her accountable for not being a victim? Because she was the perpetrator also. That's the part, and I'm not trying to argue because I don't really do that, y'all. I like my
Yeah,
peace.
we're not arguing here
Here,
at all.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying it because I don't want to make anyone mad. And it's all allegedly
this is a
because
healthy discussion.
TikTok. But I'm just saying, y'all,
Yeah.
when do we hold her accountable? In the courtroom, in my other friend's life, they were making the point
Okay, so
that
this is when you hold her accountable, Tiff.
but
This
wait,
is
wait,
when we
Hold on,
just
hold on.
wait,
Let her finish.
Hold
y'all
on
gotta
one
let me
second, niece. Hold on
finish.
one
One at a
second,
time,
niece.
y'all. One at a time.
Yeah, hold on one
She
second,
was
niece.
getting 50K a week. Not only was she getting 50K a week, she told them, the guy, whoever was taking golden showers on her, that he was doing it wrong. You mean to tell me that a man is doing that on you and you're like, "Oh, you're doing it wrong, but I'm a victim." No, baby, I'm out. I don't care if we got to make a liquor store run and you
I,
drop me off barefooted on a corner of the worstest city in the world. I'm going to make a way where I'm not going back to that hellhole.
I hear
And then
you.
back to the point of like the swingers, y'all. I know someone personally in my family that they're in that type of marriage and she is comfortable with it. They're not divorced. She is comfortable with her lifestyle.
yeah,
But just like Cassie,
Some people.
she gets to spend money. She gets to get her
they
nails
must
done.
be
She gets to
doing it
get her hair
right.
done. And she's cool.
I'm
She's cool with it.
crying.
I'm
Not you
just
doing
saying,
it
like,
right.
when do we as a society start looking at Cassie like, maybe there's more to it than she's just the victim. At first, was she the victim? Absolutely.
I
That's what I
believe.
was saying. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was saying,
Well,
Tiffany. In the beginning, I feel like yes, she was a victim. In the beginning, because I don't think Cassie came out as a swinger. She didn't start doing that till she was with him.
Yes.
mhm.
Hmm.
She didn't start doing that. She didn't develop that behavior
I don't
until she
know.
started dealing with him.
We would have to talk to Ryan Leslie
Yeah,
because
yeah. Start there for
we
sure.
would
Yeah,
have to
right.
talk
But
to Ryan Leslie because Cassie was 19, but she was playing. I mean, she was able to get in the scene and play with some big dogs and move herself around. And I saw this clip. I forget the lady's name, but she was talking about Cassie was a girl who liked to do rugs, have fun, do lap dances for everybody.
Oh, I saw
And
that
yeah,
yesterday.
that's what she liked to do. So I mean, she might have just always been a free spirit.
Yeah.
And then
well, here's what
those two met up, and it was drama.
Yeah.
You got
It
a
okay.
wasn't no
Well,
free
freaky,
I
spirit no
think
you
more.
got a
That
freaky
bird got
Scorpio.
caged.
You got a
here's what
freaky
makes that hard.
Scorpio.
Here's what makes it hard to when it comes to making her or calling her a victim and not a victim.
Yeah.
At what we got to establish, and I'm gonna tell you, we have to establish, and it's gonna be hard to do because only she knows it's her feelings. But we have to establish at what point was it she was either with it or was
When
it
she
done out
didn't
of
want to do
fear?
it no more or out
Yeah,
of fear.
yeah. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So when I get it, people want to say, well, if she was a victim or not. Okay,
Hmm.
well, she's already stated that even when she said she wanted to stop, he would beat her. He would hit her. So it's like, okay, so now even though she did it after that, you can't. I don't think we reserve the right to say, okay, well, since you went ahead and did it, um, then you're not the victim no
You're
more
not a
because it
victim. I agree.
right because that could have been done out of fear. It could have been done because she don't want to get hit again.
Maybe she was a victim of DV, but if, as far as her being a victim of everything else, I think she was a willing participant. That's just the way I'm looking at it outside the box because to me it's like the money was good, so everything else was good. It was okay. But maybe, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I don't know if
Well,
I
no,
agree.
maybe.
I,
you're just
it
giving
does
your opinion.
it does seem like she is a victim of domestic violence, but apparently so is he. He punched her. He punched him dead in his mouth. He probably deserved it, but
It
she
takes
got
two to fight.
it
Well,
takes.
when Tina beat, I'm always use Tina. When Tina beat Ike in that car, how many times he knocked her between the washer and the dryer before she fought back?
Thousands.
That is true. That is true.
Hmm.
It's just things like that we got to put into perspective.
But
Okay.
honestly, if I was Diddy, I would ask for my $20 million back because how the hell,
Girl,
how the hell,
girl, give me
how
all
the
my
hell,
coins back. Give me
how
every
the hell
last
you gonna
dime
do
back.
this? I would be asking for my money back.
Well, look, let's read a couple of things that came in from court. Just came in. Uh, I'll give you a break. Estavio, is that it? Is that it right?
Estavio.
I just love it how you say it. Okay, it says, wasn't there a time he found out you were dancing with another person in the entertainment industry and took your phone, right? Cassie says, I don't remember. And then Estavio,
Estadio.
oh, yeah, I'm sorry, that's just your job. When I point, you got it. uh, says it was Chris Brown, and
I
then
knew it. I knew it.
That's crazy.
Cassie says, yeah,
Wow.
especially when he just got arrested.
Wow.
But I digress.
Wow.
Uh, Cassie says, I was not dancing with him.
Wow.
Okay, so then
Estavio.
says, look at this. It's
Estadio.
from 2013. Cassie says, now I see.
Estavio.
Ostavio.
Says, what else did Mr. Combs take? Cassie says, my car, my passport. When he was angry, you can't do that, people. You can't do that for people.
Estavio.
Ostavio.
Says, let's refresh you about Mr. Combs being in rehab. Cassie says, I vaguely remember. Yeah, okay, that's what's
He went to
established. He
rehab.
went.
I don't never remember
That's
him
what I
going to
said,
rehab.
girl. What
I
rehab?
never heard him being in
Well, he
rehab.
also overdosed.
Seriously.
There's so many things that we just were not
He
privy to.
overdosed.
But
Yes,
what
he
are the
overdosed.
odds of Chris Brown just getting picked up and it being him? That's
That's what I
crazy.
see.
He
That is
See.
crazy.
But
did.
when
I'm not,
context
I was
clues,
really
y'all,
wowed
when
by
they
that
said
just
the
now.
whole dance with another star, who else you gonna dance with? Who else?
Chris,
Because it
Michael.
wasn't
that's
it wasn't
true.
Mario. It wasn't Omarion. It wasn't Marcus Houston. Who else?
Listen, you can't
But
compare those two to Chris
but
Brown.
he
Chris
did.
Brown is it.
So but
Yeah.
Dance wise, talent.
Diddy did overdose. So I mean, it would make sense. Like, and she,
I did, I did hear something
yeah,
like that. I
that's what.
think she said it in her testimony, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I
That there
think
was some.
they asked her yesterday, and they
Yes, I
brought it
did
up
hear that.
yesterday that he overdosed, and she took him to the hospital, and so probably after that is when he decided to go to rehab. I mean, the fact that these people were, it's always funny to me because we have an idea.
Wait. I don't mean to cut you off, Eb. You said she took him to the hospital
Yeah, and I think
after he overdosed, right?
yeah,
But
he
didn't
overdosed.
they ask, and then he supposedly went to rehab afterwards. But the
Yeah.
question that was just asked was, do you remember him going to rehab? And you say vaguely or I barely remember. Bitch, you the one that, excuse my French, but you the one that took him to the hospital, right?
Well, when he overdosed, I don't know if he went to rehab after the overdose or what.
But wouldn't you know that? Y'all live together.
No, they didn't. She had her own
No.
apartment.
Yeah.
You would still know that, y'all. Come
Well, I
on.
mean, yeah, they dating. You would think they would know. For
Somebody
sure.
goes missing for a week or two, you gonna know they're somewhere.
But I
Girl,
mean, I
bye.
think that
Ain't no
Cassie
way you
doesn't
gonna
want.
sit and tell me that that's your boyfriend, your husband. Well, husband is a little different, but your boyfriend, you gonna know his ins and outs just as much as if
But
it was
Cassie
your
also
husband.
doesn't want to prove that the defense is trying to show that Diddy did all these negative things to her and acted that way when he was under the disguise of an addict because they
Right.
brought up his addiction a lot. She even said, "Was he an addict?" She said yes, and they said to what, and she said success. So they've been trying to paint this picture of him being an addict and all the things he did was because of his addiction. And so she's not going to say, yeah, he went and got help before I did. So I'm not surprised that she's going to say vaguely. She didn't say no. So she obviously has some idea, but at the end of the day, she's trying to paint him out to be a monster. I do think he is a true demon. I think Diddy needs to go sit in jail for another 2 years, come out, get an exorcism,
Do
and
you all
then
know what he has tattooed on his back?
no, it just looks like a big black. I
Hey,
can't figure
Rochelle.
it out. What
Grand
is
So
it?
Rising.
the tattoo on his back is like the god or goddess of the Santeria, one of those black
Just
magics.
stop
It's
it.
like
Y'all
the
love
deity. Look
Santeria.
it up. Look it up. Look it up. I'm not playing. Look it up.
I know what you're talking about. It's the tattoo is supposed to be like a black. She's supposed to be okay. Let me tell you who she
She's
is.
like a
She's
woman.
the
Yeah, look it
protector.
up.
She's supposed to be the protector of women and children.
That part.
Oh, I just looked it up.
And he has that tattooed on his back, but here it is, you over here beating, drugging, and this, that, and the third to women
What's a
over
Haitian
here
voodoo?
touching
The
It's a
and
Haitian.
courting.
That's what she
it's a
is.
Haitian voodoo person.
Yep.
So
Yes, I was
Yep.
about to say it's definitely voodoo,
yeah,
not
dark
Santa
magic.
Maria.
That
Dark
man has a
magic.
demon in him, more than one. He has the devil in him.
He probably
But
walked
you know
out the
what?
mirror.
You got to think about it. You see who he has tattooed on his back, right?
Hmm.
Now, this is only if you believe in it, it works, right? You have this woman that people are idolizing or worshiping because she is a deity,
Hmm.
and you have it tattooed on your back, and she's the protector of women and children. And you're over here
He going to
harming
jail.
women and
He going to
children.
jail. He going to
Right.
jail. That right there, tell me he going to jail.
You're getting your karma, dummy.
This
Because
just
this
can't.
thing is about womanhood. That sign is about motherhood and womanhood, and he is done. Yeah, he's definitely going to jail.
And you're neither.
Here's the latest update from the court. All right, so Estavio, Says, why did you go to Sedonia? Cassie says, I went to Arizona to get away from the D rugs. Stavio says, I'm going to go to a new topic. Mr. Combs told you to go get the video you'd heard about. What did you write? Cassie says, I wrote, you keep putting me down. All right, I don't know where that's leading to, but I'm eager to see.
I just
When it comes in, I'll let y'all know.
I just read up on that tattoo, and apparently that lady, her whole point is to destroy anyone who harms women.
Women and children.
Like
Well,
Yes.
without
someone
his
in the
gun.
comments just said it's a mockery, and that makes perfect sense. Or maybe he gets his power from worshiping false gods. I don't know.
But she's not a false. She's not a god. She's an actual deity. She's the I believe the goddess of protection for women and children.
Yes,
So
that
you
is
put
right.
that on your body, on your fucking back, biggest day, and you're harming women and so I'm gonna say we're gonna say
Allegedly, allegedly, yeah,
allegedly
Alleged.
children
children,
too,
yeah, yeah.
because that's not what he's in court for. He's not in court for children, y'all.
Hey, anybody else want to come up in the panel? Put a one. We'll bring you up.
Diddy is
And
in
hold on,
court.
hold on. Thank you to my gifters. I know I've missed some people. I'm reading and listening and back. So thank you for the gifts. Thank you for those gifting my panelists. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's keep sharing the live. Let's keep double tapping and clapping. And we're about to welcome a new panel guest real quick, ladies.
Yeah, he is in prison right now for something totally different, y'all. What was his charges?
They got him for Rico,
So did
Uh
you
huh.
did you guys read
Ricardo,
my remarks
the tra- oh
where it
no,
said so is his wearing this suicide or self harm?
ooh,
It definitely
what?
is.
Well, I'll let y'all answer that first.
Wait, what
He's
happened? I
insane.
I
missed
don't
it.
understand it. I say it again.
I said, so is his wearing this tattoo? Is that a form of suicide or is that a form of self harm?
Suicide.
Suicide.
That's what I
Let's
would
say
say.
unalive, just so we're
Yeah,
careful
Oh
what
unalive.
we
yeah,
Yeah,
say
yeah,
in
yeah,
this
unalive,
yeah.
unalive.
language.
Self-inflicting
But
unaliving.
There we go.
it's kind of like the whole Kanye thing. Kanye is constantly self harming himself in the public for us all to see, right? And I do think
Oh yeah.
there's this like they call it like where you have to give up something, and so I do think I don't know why he put that on his back. That is crazy to
I
me.
think
You
it's
know
just
why he
saying.
put that on his back? Because he thought he was Nino Brown. I keep telling y'all this.
No,
This
I don't
man
think that's
thinks
why he
he's
put it on
Nino
there.
Brown. He really does think he's Nino Brown.
I think it has something to do with
The
like an
world is
offering to
mine,
the
all
deity or
mine. It's his
something.
mentality.
Oh my lord, no. That's all he needs added to this.
Yeah, right. That's not a good look for him at all.
No, not at all.
See, I don't know what they're doing, but they hadn't came back with anything yet. So,
Thank you, Hush.
I do wish that someone, there's a lot of rumors going on about him, and so I do think that if the feds don't have those things, then some of those things cannot be accurate, like the kids or Kim Porter, what happened to her, how she ultimately passed away, because if they could get a murder, they would get it.
hold on, hold on. It says they. I'm giving you an update real quick. It says, and we missed this. This was 10 minutes ago, but it says they raised the risk of a mistrial if Cassie is required to return Monday, but instead goes into labor with her third child over the weekend. Then it says Cassie returned to the witness stand Friday morning, which is the day, with a dark striped suit jacket over a light colored blouse. Or I don't know what that means. And then Cassie says,
Her
Cassie,
outfit.
oh, they talk, okay, okay, I got you. Cassie read aloud a text message in which she complained that Combs was out of control from D rugs and alcohol that day. In the message, Cassie told Combs, "I'm not a rag doll. I'm somebody's child." Okay.
Girl, bye. Cause didn't Young Jock get up there and say?
That's
Cause you
how I
know what?
feel.
I'm trying to be fair. Cause I'm really on the fence with this. Cause I do think at some point she was a victim, but she's no longer a victim. It's when you hold yourself accountable for what you allowed to happen to you and the things you put yourself
And I agree with that, because
into.
as a culture and as a society, I think that's where we go wrong. We don't hold our own selves accountable for our actions, and y'all, I'm not with it. Cuz if
Cause didn't what was his name? Young Jock do an interview. What was it? Vlad? Was it Vlad TV? He did an interview with, and he was saying that him, the Diddler, and Cass, they was all out at a club. And
Yes,
he was up there
he
and he
did.
seen a woman and her head was shaved on the side. He walked up to her and was like, I want you to shave the left side of your head or the right side of your head. And he was like, what type of is that to tell somebody that? He was like, what you gonna do? And she was like, well, that's what he want. That's what I'm gonna do. So how you gonna sit and say one breath that I'm somebody's child, but he commanded you on sight and you still did? Girl, either you had fight back and you just wasn't tolerating it, or you didn't have no choice. You gotta
or
pick a
it's some
struggle.
kind of syndrome where you're so beat down you ain't got nothing left in you.
That's
I don't
Stockholm
know.
syndrome.
Yeah.
Commented
Um.
on
When you fear you're captive and you're
a
just
feed
willing to
like
do
this.
whatever just so you can survive.
Again, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. Um. We have again. It's a past. She's not the only one he done that to, right?
Nope.
That
No,
she's
the
not.
other
So
ones was just able to get it, except for one other one. Lo was able to get away.
well,
Kim
yeah.
was unfortunate, you know.
Hmm.
I was going to say this yesterday, or I did say this yesterday in a live feed. You know, I somewhat, for many unfortunate reasons, lived this kind of a lifestyle for a very, very, very short time in my life, 8 months actually. And my ex was what they call a dom, and he had contracted submissives, right? This is when I went back to him too, by the way. So I'm going through these contracts and reading them, and then he hands me an empty one, and I told him straight up, "You got me fucked up. No, I'm not submissive to nobody, nothing. You knew it when you met me. Why are you handing me the paper? It's
Right.
just not my thing." And I left,
Hmm.
and I've never ever gone back. But
Hmm.
I'm
But
going to
you
tell
back.
you that it's like fishing you. It's like you're a fish in a pond and they're reeling you in so slow so that you stay right on that hook. And you stay right on that hook and snap, they got you. You know? And you got to be strong to walk out of it. You got to be real strong to walk out of it.
You gotta have some self-respect. You gotta have morals and
Well, you gotta
boundaries.
believe in the right one.
Well, if
He's
you
God
got
to
morals
me,
and
but
values,
hey.
baby, then what you do is you sit there the whole time and you pray to God that the earth does not devour itself while you're sitting there. That's
No,
what
no,
you
I'm
do.
not talking about sitting there. You have to have morals and boundaries to get up and get yourself out of that. You gotta have
Amen.
self-respect for that.
Morals are a pretty good
Amen.
thing to have to get you out of stuff like that.
Yes, because your morality is like, okay, are you willing to allow somebody to do this to you? You willing to allow somebody to do that to? That's why a lot of stuff that takes place in the world don't make
I'm
sense
telling
to
you what,
me.
I looked at him and I looked at the paper and I looked at him and I looked at him and he already knew when I looked at him what I was going to say. I'm like, you can go with these ignorant women and I'm going to stand tall above all of you.
Yeah. 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 Right. Like. Listen, we're not gonna play those games, right
Most
there.
people don't,
No.
Yeah.
though, because they like the lifestyle. So that's why I just wonder where we cross the lines of it being like a victim.
When
See,
that
you
lifestyle
said
turns
most
into
people like
something
the
that when
lifestyle,
you say
right?
no, it happens anyway.
Ye-
When you say no and it happens anyway, right there you become a victim
Yes,
because
at
you go
that
along
point.
with it because you have to, because you have to.
Ladies, let's welcome our new panel guest, Paula. How you doing, Paula? Good morning.
Hey,
Hi,
Paula,
good
Grand
morning.
Rising.
So, listening to you guys talk, I mean, I understand. I've been following the case back and forth, and I'm sorry, I really am not convinced yet through the defensive, right, of trying to show that she wanted it and that she stayed and this is willing and able, because Diddy was and still is an extraordinarily powerful human. This isn't your typical DV, right? This isn't your typical, I get to have this willpower and walk out. This wasn't just like, I'm in love with you and I'm staying. This is, he allegedly could blow up cars, right? He kicked the patootie out of her to a point where she didn't even recognize herself looking in a mirror. If she didn't respond to a text message, he would have people out searching for her, you know?
You know what? And
then
that is exactly how they keep you too. They
That's a
keep you
really
with
good
fear.
point.
They
But
keep you with
no,
fear.
here's the deal. Also, you have to remember, the way that Cassie and everybody's trying to paint Diddy, y'all act like that man did not have a real job. Like he was just sitting here all day, just thinking about Cassie. There was text messages where she's like, "You haven't talked to me," because the man is a mogul. He created Revolt TV during that time. He had things to do, so I don't think he just had time to just sit. Unlike your regular John who don't have no, he'd go to work and think about coming home and get mad at you because his life sucks. But I just think that he wasn't as obsessive as they want us to think he was of Cassie. Cassie was his plaything. They were what they called, their words, get high partners, get high friends. That's what they did. They partied together. When he wanted to party, he called her.
Well,
He didn't want nobody else to party with her.
I'm gonna say this, Ebony. Given the questions that he was asking her or writing down for his defense team to ask her while she was on the stand yesterday, is giving jealousy vibes.
yeah.
Well, he
When
made
you
as hell. He paid $20 million, and she's sitting here playing in his
hey,
face, trying to get him to go to jail for the
but
rest of his
but
life.
but
And I
listen,
think
but
towards
hold
the
on.
end,
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
No, you fine. Go ahead.
I think towards the end it got out of hand. I don't think he was as mogul. I think he had people to work for him and he probably was sitting around because at one point she said that the freak offs went on for like weeks or days. Like I think he got, and I've always said this, and if y'all ever listen to me on other panels, I think when he went against Ciroc, that it put a
That's
target
exactly
on his
what
back.
happened.
And
Yup.
that's the only reason that we're here because he went
Absolutely.
against the
Tiffany, girl,
grain.
you smart girl. Because
Absolutely.
I've been
Yeah,
seeing that
that's
for
Absolutely.
the
the reason why we're
longest.
here.
After I found out about that
Hashtag True
lawsuit.
Podcast. Welcome to the live,
Yep.
brother. I appreciate it. Great show last night. Great show.
I
Even though we
didn't
After
didn't
miss
I
win
found
tag
out
anything,
time.
about that,
so
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
absolutely. That
but
we
I
wouldn't be
think
here if it
another
wasn't for that.
thing with him writing down the questions yesterday at the end of the day, I think that is a way to control her. He knows what her buttons are. The
Exactly.
lawyer doesn't.
Well, and
well,
I
he's
think
a
it's
Exactly.
his way that
mastermind.
he needs control over his defense attorneys too, right? Like he can't allow them
Let's
to.
be real. He thinks he controls everything and everyone. He thinks he's a god of some
but
fucked up,
if you were
messed
sitting
up
in
sort.
court and you knew some evidence and you knew the real story, wouldn't y'all be trying to fight for your life?
Yeah.
Come
And
on.
he
Yeah.
knows her
But
triggers, so he knows how to make her look not credible with the right questions. He's
Well,
very
yeah, because
smart.
she
Exactly.
also knows how to paint
Exactly.
herself just like any other. She also knows pulling out them prayer beads, what to do to try to get people's sympathy. Also, so I mean, it's a game. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Both of them not, but I just think
Well,
that
her with her
Birds
that
of a
that
feather
might have
fly
been the case,
together.
but that's also something that you're supposed to do to keep your head level.
yeah, because but she also did it right when the jurors were walking back in.
He had
And
the
she ain't
Bible
kidding.
out. They're
Let's
the
keep that in
same,
mind.
y'all.
Well,
I
yeah,
was
but
about to
no,
say, no
Listen.
one sin is greater than the next sin.
Amen.
No
It's
one
not.
sin is
It's
greater than the
not.
next sin.
But
But
see,
if she is,
he's
go
making
ahead.
himself look bad because here's what like yesterday. He honed in on her relationship with Kid Cudi, right? And the reason why I think that was a bad idea is because
You
you are
said the
being,
relationship with her and Kid Cudi.
yeah, he had a
That was
problem. He
stupid
like
because you just blew up. You blow up his
that,
car.
Do you want to go? You can.
niece. I'm sending a whole hug up there to New Jersey. That's what I'm
You can
saying.
go.
You just incriminated
The
yourself
mother is
really
fine.
by honing in on this. because you dated another celebrity
Okay with you.
when I'm supposed to be the only celebrity you dated.
Yeah.
But you
But
the
didn't he
same.
just say that they would just get
Anything
high
happens, you know
friends?
what to do.
That's a contradiction in itself.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think he did it
That's a
wrong.
contradiction in itself, and I'm not a lawyer.
And I'm gonna be
Isn't
honest,
Kid
ladies.
Cudi being charged too, though? Because I thought that he was like in trouble or going to be on the stand, or like, I think there's more to Kid Cudi than we know.
I
I don't think he's
I
in trouble.
think
I
that
think he might be
I
testifying.
hope not.
yeah, I think he's just testifying about the
Him
of his
blowing up,
car,
kaboom in his car.
Kid
No.
Cudi's not going nowhere. He is too scared.
right? And I'm gonna be honest with you all, ladies, and no disrespect, no disrespect. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Regardless of, because we know in the position that Puffy Jacket was in, probably could have had any woman he wanted. But let's be honest though, even being in that position, you all have the ability sometimes to give it to guys, and even though we think we are the playboys and we all is, and sometimes, like I said, no disrespect, but y'all put that thing on us, and then we crazy.
Absolutely.
We don't even want you.
Women decide who they want to sleep with. You are
But
correct.
but
See,
he been crazy. He was crazy when he was doing it with J Lo. He was crazy when he was
but
doing it
see,
with Kim.
Yeah.
and
He
She's
was
see,
another
crazy
one.
when he was doing it with the other girl, the
and
Justin mother.
Oh
See,
yes,
Misa,
the,
yes. What's her
Misa,
name? That's like years
Mi-
ago though. From when Biddy, remember
but
that
she was
video when they
smart
were in the
enough to
hotel?
get away from him.
Yes, but
After
you
she had
remember?
that baby, she was able to get away from him.
Yeah, she left him
yeah,
alone. They still stood friends, but I also heard,
yeah.
there was not heard. I'm not gonna say I heard. Okay, I don't want to
Well,
put
you
words out
kind
there,
of
but
gotta stay friends
yes,
with him to a
you
degree
know,
because he had
They'll
the
come
power to
back and
take their
bite you.
children away from them.
Period. I
hmm
mean,
But you
close.
guys, I really wonder though, because like we haven't heard a testimony from like J Lo, right?
not
And
yet,
we can't
not
from
yet.
Kim, but I wonder how they got away. Did they have to have blackmail?
J Lo
Yeah.
did
Did they have
not.
to have
Okay.
something?
Wait, come on.
So
J Lo is not testifying. J Lo
No,
is a
so
narcissist, her
what
own self.
yes, she is
What?
100.
And she got
According
away
to
regarding
because
David in the
regarding
Bible, every entity that thinks they're like that has a weak spot. Remember that.
J Lo
so
does
Every
not
one
testify.
has one.
Right,
Come
but
on.
what I was getting at to the point is like, what did they have to do
so I was
to
about to answer your
break away
question.
from
So I
yeah.
feel like in my mind, I don't know if you guys agree with this, but in my mind, in order to get away from somebody like that, you have to sleep with somebody who has more power than them,
Mm,
Or
mm,
leave
mm,
while they're
or
sleeping,
deal
yes,
with them in
or
some form
create
of
a plan to
Or
fashion
have
leave.
some
to get
brothers or
somebody
uncles,
to
because
have.
my
somebody.
family
Hold on,
don't
hold on,
play
hold on, hold
about
on. One at
Listen,
a
me.
time. One at a time. One
Well,
at a time. One at a time. One at a time. One at a time.
I don't care how many brothers you got or how many uncles or cousins you got.
Hmm.
This is Diddy. Like back to what she said. This is Diddy we talking about. We
Yeah.
gotta be realistic. He not a regular NIGGA on the street, y'all. This is a
My
man with
son is
power.
my
It's
hero.
no sending your
100.
Skip
uncles and
Bradford. My
brothers because
son is
then you
my hero.
eliminating your lineage by you sending them there to try and harm this man. You putting them in harm's way by them doing that. So it wouldn't even matter. The only way to fight fire with fire is to be consumed by something else. So they was messing with and sleeping with Diddy and they seen what type of
Hmm.
power he had. The only way to get away from a person like that is you have to sleep with or deal with somebody else that has way more power than that person
True.
to leave unscathed.
That's
Let's pause on
good.
that real quick. Let's pause on that real quick. Let's
Wait,
get
wait a minute.
there's an update from the court. It says Estavio. Is she back?
Estadio. I'm
Oh, is
sorry,
she
I had
there?
to
She
go
go.
take care of something.
Okay, no problem. You back? I thought you still going. Okay. He says I'm going to play you some audio, and the audio is Cassie saying, "If you saw a video of someone effing me, who was effing me? You have it. Why didn't you show me? Cause I'm not disrespectful, bro." And then Cassie says, "If you don't show me, I will unalive you, poke you up."
Oh my.
Mm.
Damn.
She
Now
wilding
that's
out.
that's
She
not good.
incriminating herself.
Yeah, that's not good for her right there. I'm gonna tell you
What's going to happen is I feel like the whole point of this trial that they having is because he sued that liquor company.
Yes,
Wait, I'm
that's
sorry.
where it all started.
That's the whole reason for why Diddy is in jail. Let's not be dictate
Blind.
the facts.
Wait,
Hmm.
could you
Absolutely.
repeat what was said in that transcript? I couldn't hear. So She threatened to unalive
To
him.
unalive him.
Yeah.
Mm, okay.
She threatened to unalive him
If
in a text
Yeah,
message
because he
because
wouldn't
he
show her the
had a
video.
video. Basically, he had a video of her having sex with
I'm just
another
gonna say,
person,
I feel flip
and
floppy,
she
and I
didn't
feel
know
just
that
like
he had
Jenny.
the video of her, and she basically told him like, "You didn't even show me the video. If you don't give me the video, I'ma unalive you."
Okay. Well, they both crazy and they deserved each other, and
That's what
now
I
Yeah,
say.
right.
Yeah.
But I'm
I'm
saying
flip
the whole
floppy
Well,
point of
about
I'm
it.
gonna
Cassie,
say,
the whole original point of
even if
Cassie being
he,
there was them people that he sued for that $3 billion. She was the one that was supposed to get him in the courtroom, and they supposed to do everything else.
You
So
know,
I
when we
doubt
talk
it.
about her, we talk about particular incidents. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And instead of concentrate, they are concentrating on her victimization. But when she comes back with rebuttals, it's on specific incidents.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
yeah.
gonna be honest with you.
But
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, even if she's like, completely innocent, right? And I'm not saying she is. Obviously she's not. But even if she
You
was
would have to be
saying
brain
something
dead.
like that, she's not smart.
Hmm.
Like, let's
Show
just say
that
that. Like,
incriminating
who would,
evidence.
Absolutely.
yeah, who would
Because you
text that?
incriminating yourself by that.
Yeah.
Who would text that?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you
That's
have the
true.
In the
nerve to
heat of an
testify against
argument,
this
you're
man.
liable
Not
to text
you
anything.
know that it's evidence for both parties. So you had to know at some point in time that this was going to come up.
All right. Two more
Um,
things just came in. Two more things. Okay. So, is she here?
Astadio.
Savio. Yep. Mr. Combs
I
sent
love you to
us.
say that.
Me too.
Say
I
it
love it. I
again.
love it.
Say
Mr.
it again.
Combs spent a
Astadio.
lot of money
I
to
love it.
make sure the video did not get released. Cassie says, I don't know.
Astavio.
Says you had a conversation with Jonathan Oddie that was transcribed. Cassie says, I'm not sure.
Astavio.
Says he was volatile. Question mark. It's a question. He's asking he was volatile. And Cassie said, I didn't trust him.
okay, that. Sorry, go.
Astavio.
It's Fabio. Yeah, it says, uh, what did Mr. Combs say when you told him you thought Mr. Oddie was recording? Ah, I know what they're talking about now. Okay. And Cassie said he said he'd take care of it.
So somebody
Astavio.
else was recording
Says,
them.
are you aware of an escort leaving comments on Mr. Combs' Instagram page? Cassie says, I am not. All right, let's pause right there for a minute. Let me, because,
That
um,
Jonathan Audi guy is a I was just digging to the deep dive the other night about him.
okay. So you remember when he said he feared for his life?
Yep,
So he bought the, yeah,
he had turned
yeah,
to a
Who
crazy
the
person.
escort? The
Yeah,
escort
hmm
was that the escort?
yeah. So
yes,
Jonathan Audi is like he looked like a crazy person in 2018 when he went into a
in
police
that
station.
hotel.
Well, I just remember the police station when he was telling them like I've been having sex with Cassie, Diddy. He even said Rick Ross.
Wow.
And in 2018, I thought he was crazy. But he basically, if you go back, you can find it on Instagram, his police interrogation, where he's
Yeah,
saying all these things that have now come out to be true, and he doesn't look the way he looked back then when they were hiring him, because
yeah.
clearly
It's Chippendale dancer then.
yeah,
I
but
would
go
like.
ahead. You can explain Smooth better than I can.
Oh no, I was
I
just
would.
saying when
I
you
would
say he
like.
looked different, I was like, yeah, he was a Chippendale dancer then. You're right. He was way different than what he looks now.
I would like to hear Chicelli say Anastasia. Say that word. Say
Who?
Anastasia. Chicelli.
Oh, oh, I think she's away right now. Her mic is on mute. I think she's
The
away.
stripper though, he came out, y'all, and he said that he thought he was just going to their hotel room for like a bachelorette party, and it didn't end up like that. And it
Right.
is
Yeah,
that
that she lied and said that she
yeah.
hired him to come there and all that good
Yes.
stuff
Yeah.
for Diddy, and Diddy sat
Oh
and
no, she's
watched.
And
back.
then when she got there, when he got there, she explained to him, like this is not what you thought it was. This is what it's going to be,
hmm
And instead of giving him, I think he was only supposed to get paid $300, if I'm not mistaken. She
200
gave him, yeah, 200. She gave him 4,000. 4,000.
to
He
change his
also
mind,
Chicelli.
Yeah.
said
to
Is
persuade him to
but
stay
is
Mm-hmm.
that the
and do the
Audi guy?
job.
Is that the same Audi guy or is that a different guy?
That's the Chippendale dancer.
Yes.
She also
His
said that,
service.
I believe she said that his, and y'all forgive me, but she said that she liked sleeping with him because his package was bigger than anyone's she ever had.
No, but
Wait a minute.
I
She
think
called.
those are. I think y'all are getting the kind of mixed up. There's a bunch of escorts, but that's the guy who I think she was on the stand. But this Audi guy, I mean, he's a wild boy. I don't think he's been on stage. That's the one she's saying she didn't trust him. I think
Oh, okay.
because he's a
Yeah,
different
I might
guy.
have it confused. I'm sorry, y'all.
Look up Jonathan Audi. He's a different guy. He's looks Latino. I think the other guy she said he felt like comforting to her was a black man. But there's a dozen of escorts involved in this case. But the Jonathan Audi guy, he actually settled with Diddy out of court for like $5 million in 2018.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think her family knew anything, but they just stood quiet because he's so powerful?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he sent
of
them money.
Who's the
course.
first
Me
person you're
too.
going to call something
Me
like
too.
that happens to you?
100.
Of course. She
People like,
said he
oh,
texted the
people were
mother
like,
or
oh,
called
why
the
didn't she?
mother a few
Yeah,
times.
she was like, people are like, well, why didn't she tell anybody? Why this?
She
Listen,
did.
come on now.
Her
Come
parents knew.
on.
They
No,
I
told her
know
to keep
that.
her mouth shut, do
no.
what you
Right.
can,
Well,
and to get as much money as you can from him, and then get up out of there.
well, then that goes back to like the R. Kelly people. These mamas knew.
Yeah.
Families need money. At the end of the day.
I
Well,
got
hold
it. I
on.
have to
Well, hold
definitely
on
agree
one
with her on
second
that.
though. Hold on one second though. Now let's step back a little bit because her mother did ask her after he did um hit her, assault her. Her mom asked her because she had heard about it or read it on the internet that it happened,
Wow.
and Cassie denied it. You understand? So like her mom, when even it's already been on record when her mom, when they first met him, they
Hmm.
didn't like him.
Of course. Look
Right,
at him.
right. They already had two, but
They shouldn't have liked him. He was the same age as them, and he's dating their daughter.
Mother. Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right. But I won't say that she, like, the mother was cool with it, or because she was in a position to get money. I honestly don't think if, when she found out what was going on, or when it was brought to her attention what was going on, when she saw what she saw, and she asked her daughter about it, and her daughter was like, "Oh, that's just rumors. That's just the internet." I think she was really asking her, saying, "Hey, if this was really going on, then you." What I'm saying is, I think if Cassie would have told her mother the truth, I don't think her mother would have stood for her stand. I think she would have wanted her to get away from it.
But then
But
too, you got to think about it like this too.
mm,
I don't care how old you would be, your child will always be your child.
Yes.
How
facts.
many times and how many red flags did you see?
Hmm.
Countless red flags that you've seen, and you didn't say anything, but this one time because you've seen it on the blogs
And they were
See,
all going on trips and
I don't know.
vacation
That's a good
together.
question. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. See, I that's the thing. I don't know, because I mean it's pretty much like the same thing with Kim. We know
Yeah.
that but when he hurt these girls, he would send them off to a hotel or put them up until they got better, and then they could come out. So I don't know who all saw what and who didn't, but what I do know is a
So
lot of the
I'm
same
just
things
saying,
that.
as a parent, right?
Yeah,
As
yeah,
a
I get what
parent,
you're
because
saying.
you're a parent. I don't have any children, so you're a
Yeah,
parent. So as a
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
parent and a concerned parent, a very active one, it's no way you're gonna let anything fly under the radar with your children, no matter how old they get.
right.
You
But it
know your child inside and out, so you know when something is wrong.
And
okay.
a mother's
Let me
intuition is no other.
Yeah, girl. I have three
let me
boys. I know.
let me say it like this to you, niece. When my oldest daughter was getting abused by her, and she stayed with her older kids, her two older kids, um, with their dad, and they lived 2 hours from us. When she was down there, he was abusing her. I didn't know, and I talked to her. I didn't know. Now, when they was at my house staying here for a few days, and I saw the bruise on her, that's when him and I had the powwow. You see what I'm saying? Or or when we were at my oldest granddaughter's birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese, and when they was walking back towards the table where the family was sitting, where we were sitting, and I saw my daughter crying, that's when my family and I put him out of Chuck E. Cheese without opening the door. But you see, we saw that. We saw it. You see what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So I can't if I don't know if her mom
See,
saw
that's
it.
what I'm saying. You saw that, but it's been
Yeah,
points and times. It's not like her family has never seen or never been around her and Diddy.
Well, I
yeah.
don't think that I personally don't think that Diddy was just keeping like. It seemed like Cassie wanted to be a more of like a family commodity with him, and he already had that role. So I don't really know if her family was really like
You know what?
around
Cassie
them
was trying to
together.
My
change that man's
mother,
mind on him marrying her because he has never been married before. He's been with plenty of women for long periods of time and never married none of them.
my
No.
mother
He,
saw me with a double set of black eyes, and
and
she
when
did
she
nothing.
and
She
when and
took
how
it
Wait,
long
out
wait,
was
wait,
on
wait.
me.
I
Hold on,
need to
hold on,
hear
hold
that.
on,
I need
hold
to
on
Took
one
it
hear
out
second.
that.
on
Guys,
me.
one at a time.
Hold on, one at a time. One at a time. Let's go,
What
Rochelle.
what you say?
I said, my mother saw me with a double set of black eyes, and she got angry with me. She was mad at me and took it all out on me. She didn't, hug me or tell me everything's going to be okay or swoop me up and take me. None of that. None of that. She was angry with
Crazy,
me. It was the weirdest response in life.
Wow.
crazy,
I'm
crazy. What
sorry you
was
had
you?
to go through that.
Yes, absolutely.
Well,
Ebony.
thank you. And I want you to say Anastasia before I get off here.
Oh,
Okay, Anastasia.
I knew it. I knew it. I love
Anastasia.
it. I love it.
I
That's my
love it.
daughter's name.
Oh, it's a
I
beautiful
love
name.
it.
Thank
Beautiful
All
name.
you.
right, Ebony. What was you gonna say?
Hey, you need to stop.
I just don't think that Cassie had said at one point that her mom. She finally showed her mom the bruises and said it was the first time it had happened when it had been a thing by them. I do think that. So I don't think her parents necessarily knew, and I think that it's easy for Diddy. Diddy's a charismatic guy, so he knows how to put on a front, to make people feel comfortable and things like that. So I don't think they saw him in a rage, or I don't think he was on drugs around them. I personally have lived that party lifestyle. But, I'm now a mother of three, but I have lived a party lifestyle filled with ketamine and all of them things. And I know that, with all that comes a level of violence because of just your anger, your temperament when you are on those things, especially if you're doing it weekly. I mean, at one point we were doing it weekly. And so our relationship was way different than it is now. So I really do think that drug filled
D Rug, D
experiences
Rug, D Rug, D Rugs.
or D rugs our experiences are different than every day. And I do think that people know how to put a front on for families. My mom, she is one that she's not going to push you to get out of something because she feels like the more she tries to push you, the more you're going to run to it. So, she's going to
Mhm.
be there for you, but I mean, she's not going to watch somebody,
I
abuse
think
you in
that's
front of
the
her.
hardest lesson
Right.
for a mother to learn right there is to
Yeah, but
keep.
you have to. I think there's a way to handle it, but just jumping in sometimes is not the way because they tend to go the opposite than you expect.
You're right. You're right. And you don't know but what they are going to leave and be gone for 2 weeks. They get all set up and all comfortable someplace. Bam, they go back. That's part of it too.
Okay, so I wanna say something. Okay, I wanna ask you guys something. Did you guys see when they had clips on the news or on TikTok of Kim Porter's funeral?
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Did you see how he acted? Did
You
anybody
talking
pay
about the lack
attention
of
to that?
compassion, or like he
He
was even
was
emotional?
laughing, giving high fives. He was
That's what
smiling.
I was just
I
thinking.
mean,
He was sitting
I've never
outside the
seen
church,
that.
joking around and laughing, having a great time.
I'm like, what the
Mm.
hell am I seeing right now? Seriously. And then it
Mhm.
comes out, that he paid for her casket 2 weeks prior to her death.
3 weeks.
Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's just crazy. It's crazy. I can't like she was about she came out with that book. A lot of people don't think that it's real. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
She was trying to say something. She really was, and
But
it's a damn shame because
y'all,
I
do y'all
could
remember when Quincy was getting in trouble? Not Quincy. What's the other one?
Justin. Justin.
Christian,
Justin and his
Christian,
Christian. No, 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 not Christian. Justin and his
Justin,
mom got
Justin.
on there and was like, he had gotten in trouble for something,
Drinking
and
and
his
driving.
mom got on there and was like, basically Diddy, like, this is all your fault, all this stuff. So I do think, it's just interesting to see because we think that they're all like compliant, but they've been getting tired of his nonsense too. You know what I mean? Imagine,
Absolutely.
imagine all the times he was rug filled. He was probably a terror to everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I do think that's why a lot of them aren't speaking out now because they fear
And
they're
maybe
still.
Justin did tell his parents, but he told his parents after the fact, after he had already separated himself from it. And maybe that's why his mom was like that.
Well, I think she just saw it. I mean, she lived it, she
Yeah.
saw it, and she know what go down.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I
Tiffany, you
believe
you
that
was
too.
next.
Sorry, y'all. I've got to go to work and I'm cleaning my
Oh,
house. So I was in and out shaking my rug out the back door just
you
listening.
are crazy. You are
Oh, we're
crazy.
so sorry that you have to go to work on such a beautiful day.
Oh, it's raining
Yes.
here and I water
Oh,
plants and take care of plants. So don't be sorry. I love my job.
I'm near the East
She says
Coast.
right up the alley, huh?
Mm. Last night we had tornadoes, though.
Well, listen, Tiffany, I'm glad you found the channel, and hopefully we're following each. Matter of fact, let me give you a follow right now so we don't lose each
Yeah,
other.
I was following you on your old page, but I'm going to drop down and let someone else have a chance to come up.
Hey, Tiffany. Tiffany, you
Okay.
sound just like my best friend Patty. You guys got the same voice. I wanted to tell you that.
Oh, that's funny. Is she from Kentucky?
No, she is from Jersey, New Jersey.
That's funny. They all tell me I don't sound like I'm from Kentucky.
You
I'm
sure don't.
proud of
You
that.
sound just like my cousin from Central Indiana. You
What
Yeah,
do.
you have that common voice. Like when I was hearing you, I'm like, Patty? Oh
what
my
what part of Kentucky?
Yeah.
Western Kentucky, so I live in a little place called Paducah.
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 I know you. Yeah, yeah.
I go
My
on
Yeah, wasn't
business
that in a Disney
trips.
movie?
I work at
What?
go on business trips to Louisville very often, and I'm a Kentucky fan.
Nice. Louisville's about 3 hours. I can be in Tennessee or Illinois very quickly, like less than
Illinois.
20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Paducah was in a Disney movie. Yes.
That's funny. Well, look, y'all, I enjoyed coming up and hanging out. I
Well,
love a panel where there's respect. You guys are
yes.
awesome. Follow
Thank you.
me. I'll
Thank you.
Yes.
follow you
Because we're
back. I'll
all
come back
awesome
and see
too.
y'all.
All
Tiffany, it
right.
was
Have
a
a good
pleasure,
day.
hon. Have a good
Have
day.
a wonderful
It was
day.
a pleasure.
Have a good
Have
day.
a good one, y'all.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Do we? Is there another person that wants to come up in the panel? I seen someone. Meek Meek. Would you like to come up? I see you said that was not true. I'm not sure what you were speaking on. I'm sorry I missed it. But if you would like to come up in the panel, you can.
Oh, someone said that Diddy bought her parents a home, and I didn't know that.
I
I
didn't
mean,
either.
you
Me
know, and
neither.
I thought she didn't get any money this whole time. That's why she wanted that 20 million, 2 million for every
No,
year.
she was getting the allowance. She was getting
50,
the
he was
allowance.
getting 50,000 a week.
Huh? So, huh?
It's deeper
Mhm.
than money. This is what I keep saying. It's
It
deeper than
is.
this money.
It's deeper than money.
Deeper
It's deeper than
than the
Diddy.
coin. It's deeper than that little 20 mil. And why I say little, that's pennies to what he took from another from that corporation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pennies compared to what he took from that liquor company.
Yes.
Facts.
Yes.
Facts.
I agree.
All right. We got an update from the court. Let's go.
Estadio.
Says now. Let's talk about rehab. Do you still? I think that means still like take. Do you still steal? Oh.
Do you still steal? Like you stealing stuff?
Right. I don't know if are we allowed to say the D Rug name on here?
Probably
Moderators.
not.
I haven't
Probably
had no
not.
problems
Don't even
with
do
it,
it.
but yeah,
Don't
Okay.
don't do
keep.
it.
How about this? It's the D Rug. It's a sub and it's a box, son.
Ah,
I
Okay.
got it.
All right. All right.
I got it.
Cassie says something like that. Oh, something like it. Woo woo woo.
Estadio.
Says what does it treat? Cassie says O opioid. Uh,
Oh, the OP. Just say OP.
yeah.
Opioids?
Okay. The
Okay.
Just say OP.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
they might, because that's the
sorry,
name.
y'all. Sorry. I don't
This is
see. Listen,
hard.
all these guidelines and some of these words I feel are okay to say, but they don't want it.
Yeah, they don't
Right.
want it. They,
You
they'll
never
get you
know, and you never
Fire,
know
real
when
quick.
AI is gonna blip you right out.
So
Uh-huh.
we just say, you know what? We just say the OP. That's all.
That's
Okay.
what I
Right?
said.
OP.
OP. Just say OP.
OP. All
Okay.
right.
OP addiction, and then the prosecution jumped in and said objection. Judge overruled that.
Estadio.
Says you wrote a book in rehab. The place treats sexual compulsion. Ooh.
Do you think
Well,
she was a hypersexual person? That's what they're trying to play it as.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure she liked the sex, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
I
who
Yeah,
know.
doesn't like
but
that,
they're
right?
his defense is going to use is that she's upset. She was into this stuff. She was a hyper sexual
I never
person.
thought about it
She liked
that way.
indulging in these type of activities. That's how it's going to be made to
I
look.
think
Yeah,
you're right. I'd never
he's
thought
right.
about it that way, but you may be right.
They were also saying, that she was extremely jealous of Kim Porter in the beginning.
Correct.
In the beginning, at the
Correct.
end, they were good. At the end, I think they were
Yeah,
okay
they've
because she
been
saw
saying
her.
that for the longest. It
Listen,
was always
they they
between
they
her
linked
and
up.
him.
They
Yes.
linked up before she died.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So listen, she told Cassie a lot of stuff that Cassie still knows. Okay, that
Mm-hmm.
has probably not said nothing yet. We'll
Right.
see, but I think her last day is today though.
Right. Right. Today's the last day.
5 hours. Yep,
Yeah, they're supposed to
something
bring
like
T-Rod
up
that.
says
Dawn Richard next.
95,
Mhm.
says none of
Oh, they
this
bringing Dawn
matters.
in. So what
Mhm.
happened to
Mm-mm.
the rest of the girls from Danity Kane that they need to bring up there then? You
It
I
can't
don't know
just
if they're
bring
gonna
one
come.
without bringing the other. What happened to
Listen,
Aubrey
they
and all
need
of
to
them?
bring Aubrey, to be
Yup.
honest,
Well, hold on. To your point,
because she was the target for him. I'm gonna
she
tell you.
she just landed in New York yesterday.
Who,
Yes.
Aubrey?
Listen,
Yeah.
she's gonna testify because I've been following her too. Yeah, she is a little kooky now, right? Because she went through a lot, this girl. But I'm gonna tell you something. She spits facts. She said out of everybody from making the band, right? Because I watched it like a dummy, like everybody else in the beginning, right? When we were younger.
Hmm.
So, she stated in an interview that she was a target for him.
Yeah, because
He
he wanted
treated
to
all
sell
the
her
other
off.
girls. Yes, he kicked her off because she had ideas. You understand? He felt she was too flirtatious and this and that. Like, look, man, what do you want? These girls are young. They're trying to, anybody wants a career, correct? Right?
It's,
Anybody
it's,
that can
Wants,
sing
it's
and
deeper.
is
T-Rod wants to join
talented.
the
It was
panel.
deeper than her being flirtatious, though. It was about her
Yes,
being flirtatious with the people she was being flirtatious with. She
that's
wasn't
right.
being
That's right.
flirtatious with him. She
I'm
wasn't
about to
Mm-hmm.
say
being
not him.
flirtatious to the people that he was trying to auction and sell them girls off to. She
That's
had
right.
her own
Okay.
choice in what she wanted to do, and he didn't like that.
Because he couldn't control her.
That's why he kicked her out of the group.
Because he
Okay.
couldn't
Hold
control
on.
her because she would speak her mind.
Ebony
Mm,
says, "How does that show Ricardo?" Okay, we'll go over that again. You might have missed it. The Ricardo comes in from the simple fact of when he like. Well, I'll give you the same instance that they gave in court when he went to her apartment with his security guards and kicked her door in and abused her and her friends.
Her
He,
and the friends he beat up.
yeah. Um.
Oh, you crossed the line. You bold.
Yeah.
You
Well.
bold.
Well. Hold on. See the friend. The friends. No. No. Sorry. They listening to me on the phone. So the friends jumped on his back to stop him from attacking Cassie, and so that led to him hitting them. Now,
Not he throwing blows now.
she
This
said,
is this
"What?"
is this is a whole new thing because you're throwing blows at people that's trying to protect you. First of all, breaking and entering.
mm, 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 mm.
That's
Oh, right
one.
there. That's one.
Yep.
Hmm.
Trespassing,
Yep.
battery, and assault
Hmm.
on multiple parties.
Right. Right.
Why he
And
wasn't locked up then?
well, because of see, this is why because those
The
people,
money,
those group,
the
exactly,
payoff was
exactly.
high.
They
So when the
got them
money
covered
start
up.
running low, everybody want to start running their mouth.
But
Mm-hmm.
see, and another thing, Ebony, is
Or there
when
were no
she would leave and he would send drivers to track her down and drag her back and stuff like that. So
It's sad because she
that's
couldn't really get away at the end when she really wanted to, man. You see it. You see it. You see it. The whole world saw it in the video. She tried to get away.
look what happened.
Nobody knew at that time. Remember when
She
the video?
signed up for
Listen,
something she did not know the full.
Just a
She
second.
thought it was going to be,
Just a second,
oh,
Cat.
we're going
Uh
to
Just a
huh. Uh-huh.
swing,
second.
we're going to do D
T-Rod wants to
Hold on.
come
rugs,
up.
we're going to
Hold on,
have
niece.
fun, and that be
Hold
it.
on,
And it
niece.
turned
Hold on,
into
niece.
something else.
Hold on, niece.
She,
What was you saying?
She-Rod.
Rochelle was saying something to you, I think.
She-Rod wants to come up into the chat.
Oh, oh, okay.
Who?
She's been waiting patiently for a little bit now.
Oh,
Who?
I don't even
Oh,
see
she
her
let me
name.
say
Renee
something real
5.
quick.
I
Let me
see
say
her.
something real quick. real quick before I gotta go, because I really gotta go. My dog is looking at me like, really? I'm hungry.
Okay.
But I'm so passionate at what we do. You know what I'm saying? You get me, Smooth. You get
I
me, you
do.
know. And so does
100%.
Doc. Doc, you get me. So I wanted to say that when the first actual video came out, do you remember the video? The video came out. All you
Hmm.
saw was just a clip of where he dragged her, and
Right.
then they
Yeah.
showed the full video, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I just, I, I don't even know what to say at this point. What I'm saying is a lot of people didn't even know what really went on. They did not know that there was a male escort and that she
No,
left
they
because she
didn't
didn't
say
want
that.
to do a freak off. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
She said that.
Hmm.
She
So
explained
do
it.
you think in that bag, not to cut you off, Chi,
Go
do
ahead,
you
Ma.
think in that bag that she had, what do you think was in there?
Money.
Yeah, of
Mm.
course. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's why first of all, you tried to run out on the plug. You tried to
Yeah.
run off on the plug.
That's
Then you
crazy.
left this escort in here probably with just me and the escort because he probably how I feel like how she got away was him and the escort was doing something. That's the only way she was able to get past him.
Ooh. Ooh, you know
Well,
what? I
hey,
heard.
hey,
Because
hey, would that be far?
because when he came out, didn't he have a towel on?
He
Yes.
did.
But the story was that they said
It looks
also that
like
I saw that
socks
they were
fell out
trying
of
to
the
say that he
bag.
was getting
You
in
can
the
say that.
shower.
He was getting in the shower, so where was the escort? Why we didn't see the escort? Because they probably would have left out at the same time.
Right.
Well,
Right.
remember when the security guard was on the stand, he said that when he looked in the room, there was another guy in all black over in the corner.
Wow.
So
So it was another person in there.
it was.
So that person didn't say anything or try to stop her from leaving. And then once he came out the bathroom, probably getting ready for his turn or to clean himself,
Oh,
I don't think I'm
the
Listen, I
following
gotta
you.
tell
escort.
y'all. I gotta tell y'all when I was listening to the
sorry.
testimony, you know, and she broke down Cassie. She did not make eye contact with him. This monster had the nerve to sit there and be like, "Hi, how are you feeling?" He whispered to her.
Mm.
How sick is that, man? Like you're on trial and you're playing this game to people. You're smiling. You're acting like you innocent to the world. You
He's
know,
trying to hit all of the
it's a
buttons that he
shame.
can.
He's
It's a
baiting
shame.
her. He's baiting her.
Yes,
Hey,
he
let's
did
get
Yes.
not
the
look at him one time.
let's get these updates coming in from court. But when we come after we read these, I want Shira. Am I pronouncing that right? Shira.
Hi, how are you?
Shira. Hi,
Shira.
Shira.
Hi, Shira. Welcome.
Okay, stand by, Shira. We're gonna read these
Thank you.
transcripts real quick, and then we're gonna come to you. Okay, love. Um.
Okay, no
So,
worries.
oh, you gotta go.
Castadio.
Okay, you with me? Okay.
Castadio.
Did you participate in EMDR? I don't know what that means. Um,
EMD.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused.
yeah,
Okay, what does that
EM.
mean?
I'm about to go look it up. Give me 1 second.
All right, thank
I
you,
love this
niece.
girl. I love
That
her.
is that that
She's a
is
great mod too.
psychedelics.
Oh, it is.
That's psychedelics.
Okay, thank you. I'll take. Okay, and so Cassie said yes, and then
Yeah, it's
he said
rooms. Yeah.
Castadio.
says what does it do? Cassie said memories and processing them.
Wow, man.
Wow.
Crazy.
Okay, and then
That's crazy.
he comes back.
Castadio.
Says the idea is you recall prior traumatic memories, like for PTSD. You were being treated for PTSD. Cassie said yes. Then Cassie says I was still physically developing, and then
Castadio.
says you were 22. Cassie says women keep developing after 22, don't you think?
Castadio.
Says, but you're not suggesting you were still physically developing after 22. Cassie says, I am not.
Cas-
Okay, Ebony, I was just about to say the same thing, Ebony. That's exactly what it is. It's a type of therapy.
It
Oh,
is.
okay.
It's it's using psychedelics. It's like
Yeah,
very like
psychotherapy.
celebrities do that a lot, like Joe Rogan, and it's supposed and veterans of war
mm-hmm.
go through that type of therapy too. It's supposed to help with PTSD, severe PTSD.
Wow.
Check that out.
Okay. Welcome you to the panel, Shira. Would you like to give
Thank
your
you.
insight on it?
Well, I think a lot of what the defense is doing now is kind of distraction. Um, I think that what a lot of her testimony in with the prosecution, when the prosecution was presenting her testimony, um, did kind of start the story of a lot of these charges. Um, the trafficking,
Mm-hmm.
that video
Saffing,
alone,
Saffing, Saffing, Saffing.
sapphiking, I'm
Trafficking.
sorry. I don't do a lot of lives,
It's
so,
okay. It's all
um,
right.
I
um,
know it's
but,
crazy.
but, um, but
This
that
is
video
young.
alone of the hotel situation when she was trying to run away um, and she confirms that she was trying to escape one of those, I don't know if you can say it, FOs,
Yeah.
right? Freak offs.
Hmm.
Okay, FOs. I say it anyway. Like
Yeah, I
Just
say
anyway,
it
call
too.
him
so
a
It's okay.
UFO.
so it confirms she was trying to escape. It also confirms there was an SW worker there
Hmm.
that witnessed it, and that alone um, proves for herself that kidnapping charge.
Hmm.
Um, it proves the the saffricking charge, right?
Hmm.
Because if she's being held and she's being coerced, just that one situation can get him convicted, I think.
Right.
And it's proven on video. So all of this other character assassination stuff that it seems like the defense is relying on
Thank
is
you for the
really
TikTok gifts.
just it's for the public. It's for it's to ruin her reputation. It's to try to tear down her character.
Yes.
But what I do think is interesting about them revealing her text messages, right?
Hmm.
Like, I don't know, like anybody who's been in a very long-term abusive relationship can say that there's a lot of times when you're saying stuff that sometimes you enjoy it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're saying stuff and you're agreeing to doing stuff because it's better to do it than not to do it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Gotcha.
Um,
Exactly.
And so a lot of that's where coercion comes in. And she is telling a story that although she's agreeing to it in text and verbally, she's not really because and she's showing what the punishments are.
Mm-hmm.
She's showing
Exactly.
very, very good proof of what the punishments are. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
even when she was leaving, he'd bring her back. He'd send people to go get her, right? So
Right.
it's not, and he's a very powerful person. And it's not like a situation where, I mean, listen, a lot of people are with broke people, abusers, and they have a problem getting away. I can't imagine trying to get away with somebody that has the power
That's
that he
rich.
has.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Very more than just rich. I
They're
mean, he
powerful.
has connections. He has
Mm-hmm.
connections to politicians and probably,
Yeah.
criminals and, very powerful people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but those text messages that they presented, I think was a mistake by the defense. And the reason
Okay.
why I think it's a mistake is because the prosecution did a very good job at getting her to admit her own guilt.
Right.
She is not coming across as somebody that is like claiming that she's innocent. She's
Mm-hmm.
saying, yes, I did. I was making these appointments. I was seeking out the SWs and paying them and stuff like that. That was my job, right? She's admitting to that, right? She's admitting to
Everything they
sometimes
said
wanting to be there, sometimes
there's
saying that she
nothing
wanted to be there.
text.
And so, what those texts are just proving, I feel, is that she's a truthful person. The
There's no
details in those texts really don't matter. They don't. They have nothing to do with the case. The jury is not even going to factor that in too much into what this is, right? Because they're trying to prove racketeering. And
Right.
what they're trying to prove is that although it wasn't some mafia organization, he did have an organization that he kind of put together, right? So
Right.
she's part of that organization. His security is part of that organization. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other witnesses and employees of his that come up and testify and and it puts a clear picture in that this was an organized thing that he put together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that, I mean, it, the texts and a lot of the other stuff is very, very cringy. That you're seeing come out during her testimony right now with the defense, but I don't think that it's really relevant. You have to look at the charges and look at what she's already said. That kind of proves some of these charges already. I mean, that video in that hotel is probably the most damaging thing that they have. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it proves it. It proves
Yeah.
the sapphiking, it proves the kidnapping. There was an
Mm-hmm.
SW worker there that proves also
And
trafficking,
domestic
you
violence.
know?
But in
Yeah.
It
some
proves
areas,
that the
And
Yeah.
behavior
And it
existed.
proves and it proves right there on video what happens when she doesn't cooperate.
mm-hmm.
She
uh,
couldn't leave. He took her wallet,
Absolutely.
he took her phone, and
But
he dragged her back in, so
he
Oh
dragged
my
her back
God.
in, but the security officer was there. She could have left. She ended up leaving. She did not press charges. Then she ended up seeing him 2 days later. Like, I
And she
mean,
was on camera.
and yeah,
Security's
I
supposed to
mean,
be looking at these cameras.
they're his security.
no,
They're his
it
security,
was the security officer for the hotel, who was there, who came up and asked her if she needed help or whatever, and she said no. And then
Yeah.
2 days later, they hooked up again, and then today they presented a text in which they both were kind of jokingly passive when whether or not, and I think that it's important that we look at just the facts and we cannot put our own emotions in it, whether or not she's scared when she's responding, but she said what happened in that hotel can't happen again, or he said that and she said yeah, you're right, and then they end up getting back together. So is this truly it seems like a toxic
I
it seems like a
I get
toxic relationship
I
versus trafficking. And with that being said,
I
SW are legal in certain states. So
okay.
just because in your state,
not in that state.
in California,
Not in that state.
well, I just I
Not
don't.
not not in that state. Not what they were doing. Not for what they were doing. No, it's not.
Somebody's phone's going on.
I thought they were
Yeah.
all
But
professionals.
what I was gonna say is what what doesn't really matter is what she did after. It doesn't matter. In that moment, he dragged her back. He took her phone, her wallet, her keys away from her in that moment. 10 minutes later, maybe he let her go.
But
But
that's not
in
really
that moment,
kidnapping. That's not
that
kidnapping. I've
Are
that
you
definitely
okay, Marie?
kidnapped.
that is
Then I've
that
kidnapped
absolutely
my
is
husband a
kidnapping.
couple of times by
If somebody holds
kidnapping.
you, if somebody
Y-
if somebody holds you against your will for even 5 minutes, that
Yeah.
is kidnapping.
So that person should go to jail for the rest of their lives. Like this is literally crazy, and it's really playing catch a guy because that is truly technicalities of it all, and that's the whole thing with me with this. This is like we're trying to get a big fish. I get it. Y'all all got this. A lot of people got these conspiracy things, and y'all want to get a big fish, but come on, there's way worse.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. I gotta pause you right there because I don't want anybody to get in trouble for nothing they didn't do. But however, Ebony, you have to keep with the you have to go with the history and
Yeah.
pattern of his behavior. This isn't the first time. So by
Mhm.
that going on, you can't just sit here and say, well, he's innocent of all those things when even if he is innocent, they're still gonna play off of the fact that he's done it times before.
He's
That's what makes him guilty.
he's
That's
abusive.
what
Like
made
I
him
this
mean,
is
guilty.
not some big organization. Like he's an abusive person. Like, and this is case is not about like he's not a DV. This is not a DV
It's
case.
not a DV. It's not a DV.
And
Yeah,
let's
and I
it's
just
saw.
all
it
keep
definitely
talking about like
it
I was
isn't, but what I will say is that there are reports that there are going to be further witnesses that show that he does do that, that he does hold people against their will. I think that there's one particular SW worker that they're saying is likely going to be a witness that he held her for an entire week because he hurt her so badly and left so much damage to her face that he didn't want her to have proof to the outside world that he did this to her, you know? So there is, and he took her phone, he took that woman's phone away. He had his security guard that hotel room and made sure she couldn't leave for up to a week, I believe the reports say. So
oh, he had to
this
really
is
mess
only
her up.
her, this is only her telling her
yeah,
story, but
right.
we're going to be, and what is it, 29 witnesses or something the prosecution is going to bring
I think
forth,
the
I
last
think.
count.
I
29.
I think
mean,
29 was the
I
last
think
count.
it's
Yeah.
about, I think the last count was 29. And so Cassie is just the beginning. She set this foundation to what it's the foundation to building the story and what it's going to be in the very end.
If they're using,
And I think that we have to keep that in mind. And the facts put aside, you know, the fact that sometimes she consented, sometimes she seemed excited, sometimes she was doing things to please him. Set all of that aside. The facts and what the actions are kind of building a very strong case against him. You know, you have to. I think that you have to weed out the character assassination stuff and really just look at what the facts are so far.
29 people are going to testify. So that
Yeah, I believe
means
it's 8 weeks long.
but
It's
if Tony
one of the
Busby,
longest trials I've ever seen.
that's
Eight
a
weeks
that's
is
a
very,
lot of
very
people
long.
to
but
sit and
Tony Busby,
testify.
if they got Tony Busby's
Oh
witnesses,
God.
they could find 55,000 people to testify. Come on, Cassie's the big fish. She's the one that was their
Well,
star witness.
Well, Cassie's the one that
during the
initiated it because she started the loss. She the one that kind of like started that lawsuit against him for that $20 million, and he paid her off. So that's why
yeah,
she went first. But you got to think about
she's
who
the
was
one.
talking about it, the
She
making a
was the one.
band, the people from
Think about
making a band, and all of that. You don't know
think
who
about
they're gonna bring up as
But you know
witness.
this,
Hold on,
but the whole
hold on, hold on,
notion
hold on,
of
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let's go Shira, and then we're gonna come to you, Ebony. We're gonna go up, okay?
okay,
Yeah.
All right.
So think about it this way. A lot of people are talking about John Gotti right now and how they got him, right? John Gotti was, I mean, it was everyone at that time period thought it was impossible to get this guy, right? And it was an open secret of what this guy was doing, right? And so how they got him is they they went to the people closest to him, his underlings, his employees, and they started with the people that were closest to him, and they offered them immunity and they offered them plea deals, and they all ratted him out, and they built up this thing. So they're not pulling in random people from the outside. The prosecution said in their opening statement they're pulling in his friends, they're pulling in employees, they're pulling in his some security people, they're pulling in other victims. They're pulling in people that were directly involved with him. So they are looking to build a story. And if he had a lot of employees, even the fact that if he was using a security team to um, say when she says that she was tried to get away a couple of times and he'd send his security to go get her, that is him using them as a racketeering thing, right? So it's using other people in this in the for this one goal. And that's exactly how they got Gotti. They got Gotti by taking everyone under him. They just offer deals to. And I'm sure, I mean, they have what, thousands of videos out there. They have a ton of evidence against a ton of people. Offer deals, offer immunity, and these people will talk, you know, because a lot of them probably were doing stuff that they weren't supposed to be doing.
All right.
That part.
Ebony, you go next. You go.
well, there was a lot said, so
Well, just what was you gonna say when you was waiting to talk?
I actually probably forgot, so I'm not going to ramble here. But I am interested to see what I think that's for me. I would like to see these so-called friends that are going to testify, or people who worked with him who didn't get mad because he didn't do something for them. Because if y'all ask some people about me, there's a couple of people. There's a lot of people that probably say some bad things because they don't like me anymore. So I think that the same thing could be said about a former employee of yours or an old friend that got mad because you didn't give them money. So I would like to see who the friends are, what they actually have to say. I mean, I knew that I wasn't gonna I'm torn between the with Cassie because I don't feel like she's completely innocent. I do feel like this is just a toxic, rug filled relationship that
Hmm.
had a lot of alternative lifestyles involved in it. I've seen them first handedly how rugs, especially when you're mixing such uppers and downers, can play into a relationship and the volatile of it all. So
Indeed.
I'm not surprised by that at all. Like, not at all. I'm not going to expose myself because I'm a good stay-at-home mom now. But yes, that's
Yeah, yeah.
not.
Look, I used to be a pro wrestler, so I know. I'm not saying nothing either. But I know what you mean about the D-Rugs, girl.
So
But
you know
yeah.
what I mean? So I'm not surprised by it all, and it does sound like something I've seen before. But I am interested to hear all what these other non-star witnesses say, especially people who works for him. And this the stuff, if they're just telling facts versus emotions. Because Cassie's testimony has a lot of emotion behind it. It was their first time seeing each other in 6 years, and his first time seeing her pregnant, and all these things. So I'm not swayed by this testimony. It doesn't change anything. We all saw that video, and I knew then that Diddy was evil. But I am interested to see who all the other witnesses are.
I got a
It
I
will
question
agree.
for
But
y'all.
not Dawn. But not Dawn.
it
Those two, Dawn and Aubrey, we already knew that they didn't like him. And
it
you don't even have to hear I don't even have to watch their testimony. Just go on TikTok, Instagram. You gonna see it.
it
Wait,
will
which one
be
was Dawn? Dawn was the girl that was a
The
part of
dark skin, the
Diddy
dark
Dirty
skin one.
Money,
The
right?
skinny, the
Yeah.
skinny, the skinny, dark skinned one, the
But
real
we
cool
yeah.
one.
also
The one.
watched the show. So, like, how much can they really tell us? He was rude on the show, MTV or whoever,
I was just
Viacom
about to say
gave
that.
him a deal based on him being crazy, making them people do all these crazy things. It was
Yeah.
a part of his personality. And back then, it was okay. Now it's not. And so it's kind of crazy.
I was about to
It
say
will be
she
interesting
she.
if they.
Go ahead. You go
It
ahead.
will. I was just gonna say it will be interesting if they bring in as a witness that SW worker that was in that room the time of that video in the hotel.
They would
Yeah,
have to.
Because
he's
They
got to
would
be.
have
if
to.
He's got to be.
I was about
if
to
he
say they
testify,
gotta, because
if
he's
if
he's the
he
witness.
if he testifies and he can confirm her side of the story, then
He's cooked.
I think that's it for Diddy.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
cooked. It's
that's
no
Yeah.
it
more
because
that's gonna happen
that's
after
the
that.
major
Hold
because
on.
that's the major charge and that's the one that will get him. I mean, that's the one that's going to put him away forever.
But I thought
That
his charge
charge.
was about hiring people, flying people.
The way
Part.
that
That's
that
Right?
the
work.
sapphiking part.
It's
Yeah.
part
The
of it.
Safakin?
Wait,
It's part of it, but the rafficking is also part of the racketeering too.
Yes. Hmm.
And the racketeer, and if this, they're building a case to that racketeering charge, and so this builds that up. So I think that if he can confirm that her story, I
He's
think he's
done.
cooked. I think that's
Yeah,
it.
They're
I
gonna
agree.
bring in I feel like they're gonna bring in his secretaries, whoever worked for him as a secretary, and I
Oh,
feel
you
like
talking
they
about
need
the Capricorn lady?
her. That's Lauren London's sister.
Sister, right.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
I got it.
her
side note.
and what's his name? Farnsworth Bentley, because he
I want
he
him to
was
come
Yes,
in.
there
I'm waiting for him.
for a lot.
Farnsworth is
No,
not talking up. But side note, did y'all
I
see
don't
that?
think so.
Did y'all see that
Yeah, me neither.
Chris Brown is being forced to stay in jail, denied bond in the UK?
No, I
Are
didn't
Yeah.
know
you
that.
I
kidding
didn't
me?
know that they denied him bond. I did know that he was arrested because of something that happened 2 years ago.
2
He
years
hit
ago.
somebody in the head with a bottle. I don't understand how you can.
Why you wait so long?
Yeah,
Why
because
did
there was no
the person
warrant
wait
or
so long?
anything like that put out for his arrest, and I'm pretty sure Chris Brown has been in the
Because
UK.
he said free Tory Lanez, and
I
this is
told.
an attack
I
on
was about
our
to say I
black
told you. I
male
was telling my mother
entertainers.
that.
Right now is an attack on black male entertainers because that is crazy. Now he got
I
to
just
Hold
told
on.
my mother that same thing, Ebony. That same thing that he put up there, free Tory Lanes, and then
now
after that he gets locked up.
he locked
Yeah,
up.
right?
Hold on. We got a new panel guest up top. How do you pronounce your name?
Me mod.
Mimar. Welcome to the panel. How you doing, brother?
Welcome.
How you doing? How
Hello.
you doing? Yeah, you had something you were finna read.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I like to, yeah, I'll let you go first. I
It's
know you
okay.
were trying to read it. I know you were
Yeah.
trying to read it.
It says, I'll hurry. It says jurors heard recording of a distressed Cassie screaming at a friend who said he had seen a video of, I'm assuming, her performing Smex acts. I've never unalived anyone in my life, but I will unalive you, Cassie told the man. Ooh. Uh,
What?
hold on. Punctuating her fingers through punctuating her fingers through with profanity. The thing about that is now she's threatening someone else.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
So, all right, I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
Well, and I'm gonna say this here, right?
Hmm.
A lot of these conversations and a lot of what people good, talking about and what they believe, you know, is all fine and dandy when it's on TikTok and you know,
Social
content and
media.
all this. Yeah, social media, yeah. But when you step in that court of law,
Hmm.
it's about what you can prove, facts.
Facts.
They
Yep.
don't care nothing about all that whoopie doopie law and
They just
all
want
that stuff
facts.
right there. They
100.
don't care, right?
Right.
So Chris Brown knew he had that up against him, right? So he didn't attend. That make him a flight risk, right? If he able to board planes, he's successful, rich or whatever, and he had that going on. He didn't take care of it, so now you're a flight risk. They feel like you ran before. We ain't gonna let you out. You'll run again. You can afford to do it, right?
Hmm.
And as for Tory,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
a Tory. yeah. I'm a Tory Lane fan. I've been a Tory Lane fan from day one. And one thing about being a fan of that man, this I don't know why people don't want to talk about what he did before Meg. He hit a
Hmm.
4-month pregnant woman and hauled ass.
Well, that's not gonna be good for you.
I mean, script. I ain't mean, you know what I'm saying?
I get
But
what
my
you're saying.
bad, man. My bad. See, the whole thing about it is he got a violent history. He hawked a YouTuber down for calling him whack, and he pounced on the
Mm,
man. Right
mm, mm-hmm.
now, right? After that, he when he was going through, his situation with Meg, he assaulted. Now, any logical man, right? In a logical man, you got all this stuff over your head, and you
Hmm.
still find a way to pounce on a man for not shaking your hand. Is it more likely, that this man have
A
some type
temperament.
of
Oh.
anger issue,
Hmm.
right? Now, granted, black men and black women, we do a lot of stupid stuff when it come down to being assaulted by women we deal with and men. I seen a woman take a full-blown beating, and when the police pulled up,
Hmm.
she didn't press charges on the guy. She told a fib or whatever, and sent the police on and went right back in the house with that man. I don't know, and you done seen it.
Okay,
You
Chief.
as a man, yeah, you done seen it. As men, black women, they done seen it, right?
Hmm.
So I don't know why is this far fetched when a woman get assaulted, especially in our community, that she don't want to get him arrested. She's trying to protect him because we done seen it over and over again. I done had cousins I tried to stand up for, and she took the side of the man that was abusing her. How is this new? Why don't we know this? Now I'm finna land my plane.
Hmm.
Okay, so while they was going through this, right? Now you dating this woman. This woman almost got a diamond single. That's how big Megan was when she in 2020, right? She got a diamond single. Her singles almost doing better than Bodak Yellow,
Hmm.
right?
Facts.
So,
Facts.
so now when they got together, right?
Hmm.
Everybody Tory Lane this, Tory Lane that, right?
Hmm.
So in the process of their situation was going on, she put a restraining order out on him. Not once, but twice. He was still calling her, still reaching out to her, right? So
Who?
she put that third
Are you
restraining
talking about
order
Tory
on.
Lane?
Yeah,
Okay.
Tory Lane. She put that third restraining order on him, right? I'm gonna tell you how it's gonna get weird.
Who put a
She
restraining order on him? I'm sorry.
Meg put 3 restraining orders on him.
On Tory
Right.
Lane.
Yep. The first time doing the assault, the second time again because he kept calling her, reaching out to her. She had to put another restraining order on him. And the third restraining order came when he was locked up before he dropped his last album that came out, right?
Hmm.
So they told him never to mention her name, don't mention the case, nothing like that. he still did so. Not only that, last year Megan dropped the album. Her rollout with Anime. She had an outfit on. Well, she used her rollout as Sailor Moon. On Tory Lanez, it's finna get weird. On Tory Lanez' new album, he got a song called Sailor Moon. Not only that, if a woman say I did something to her, why is I'm gonna taunt her? In the video, he got a horse leg chopping it up.
As if
I'm
because she's a
all for,
stallion. Okay, I got you.
yeah, chopping up a video, and he got guys shooting at his foot. He dancing around, then he drop a mixtape called Shot Clock. I'm all for black men getting misused and blamed for a lot of stuff, but that ain't the one that supposed to represent us. Even though Meg might be promiscuous or whatever, or you might not like her content or rap, but yet and still, when somebody done something to you, right now he didn't even want to. Everybody put the gun in his hand. Now he's
Pew
saying
pew
that.
pew 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 pew.
I mean, excuse me, the pew in his hand. Everybody put it in his hand. And then, right, on top of that, if it was about smacks, right, how did you text everybody sorry? You text the CEO of 51501, which is what Meg Boss at the time, sorry. Her security guard that wasn't even there, sorry. Her manager that wasn't even there, sorry. If it was a cat fight, why is you texting all these men for? And then what man you know when this lady catch him up with his side chick, he on the phone crying about the side chick would never speak to him again. That doesn't happen, right? So now we done made this type of, with all this common sense here, like I said, it's good for content. It's good for conversations and conspiracy and all that. But when you step inside a court of law, it's about the facts. Now they talking about residue and all that. You know how many men doing life in prison with no murder weapon found?
Okay, I got a question to ask you. Because what it's based on what his charges, right? We talking about what his charges is, not what he did to a pregnant woman, what they took him to court for, right? Regarding Tory Lanez, they took him. His charges was based off of him having a pew pew when he was on probation, right? Assault, because they saying that he pew pewed Meg the Stallion, right? The gun residue is the biggest part of the case because he didn't have any on him. Kelsey.
Well, that's not true. That's not true neither, but go ahead.
He had residue on him too?
Yeah, both of them, Kelsey and him, had residue which matched what the witness said. He said it was trying to unalive me. He was finding pew. He got charged with possession of a firearm. When the witness put that firearm in his hand, he was guilty. That's it. That's all they want to know. They don't care about the muzzle flash. They don't care if he was teabagging Megan in the bedroom or none of that. They want to know who you seen with the gun. Now, Rock Nation, Jay-Z, and all that stuff right there don't mean nothing in that court of law. You can come up with every conspiracy in the book. But when you step in that court of law, it's about facts and evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. They opened that argument was, why was you apologizing to Meg? Why was you apologizing to her for on that phone call? If that was the woman you were creeping with, in order for something like that to happen, it had to been something unusual that happened. What happened that night? She was powdered in the foot. Right? So you don't get on the...
I got a question for you, brother. I didn't mean to interrupt. Just got a question because since they both had the GSR on them, right? How do we determine who had the pew pew?
Right.
Well, first they're gonna go at it like this here, right? They took the phone call. Right? That phone call, that witness, right? She'll never speak to me again. He's saying that to his old lady. Why is he hung up on the creeper instead of his girlfriend? His girlfriend is on the phone and he pouring out and miserable about the woman he creeping that's unusual, right? And they're gonna add up to the witness. The witness, right, said that he had the pew pew firing it all over the place, right? So he couldn't even get past the open argument, right? Now, if you want to put it on
They said
Kelsey,
the pew
if
firing it all over the place. Did they find
yeah,
locations?
he find the pew pew all over the place. That's what the witness said. So now, hold on, I got you, sweetheart. So now, right, let's say I'm with you. Let's try to move this to Kelsey, right? He was on the Shade Room on Twitter and all that when they were trying to blame Kelsey. The lawyer screenshot all the tweets saying it wasn't none of her. So not only they got text messages and her initial statement help Tory pow Meg, right? On top of people trying to say, no, you did it, and you stepping up to defense saying she didn't do it. Now we got the phone call, right? Of you saying that Meg will never speak to me again, and that's your creeper, right? To your main old lady, you're more concerned about because you did something to her, right? So not only that, you got text messages you done sent out from people. If it was about Smecks, what is the security guard that ain't even there? Meg, old security guard, right? Her old security guard that wasn't even there that you were cool with before she got rid of him. You even text him, sorry. So all that evidence, like I said, all this stuff is good. It's make good all that good content. It make good conversation on TikTok and Facebook, DJ Academics and all that stuff. But check this out. If we want to go into conspiracy, let's go into conspiracy. Now, that man right there is on the Diddy list. Why ain't we talking about that? People just sweep that up under the rug. And I already told you, right? The Megan's, well, I ain't told, it was another platform. That Megan's Law Bar, right? So when Meg said that Megan's Law Bar, that went deep. Okay, so DJ Academics was on that live harassing that little boy. And guess who was on the live with him? Tory Lanez manager. That was him and Tory on that live. Joe Budden, right? Don't like Megan, right? He, a couple months back, he got charged because he was walking butt naked, trying to get in an apartment of some little girl saying he was sleepwalking, right? So Megan's Law Bar, Nikki married the pedophile, got a whole song talking about how she sleep with little boys. So is it y'all really onto what you own or you don't like this woman? So what's good for the goose, good for the gander. If you worry about Illuminati, why don't we be at the people that actually publicly practicing it right in our face? Nikki never speak out against that. She married that. She procreated with that. Her dad was like that. Her brother was like that. She supported Tekashi 6ix9ine. So if we talking about these Illuminatis and all that, let's talk about it right. That's my spiel.
I love it. I love it. I love it. What was you saying, niece?
I just wanted him to answer the question. Did they find multiple shell casings?
They found shell casings and they found fragments off up in her feet.
In a foot?
Yep, in her foot. Yep. So it depends on how you feel, right? So 1 minute, right, she didn't get pow, right? She stepped on glass. Now we saying it's new evidence saying that Kelsey didn't pow her. So how could this woman win? Show me a route this woman can take the win. Because guess what? Everybody who is, I'm asking you this with all my tender loving heart. Who is Gayle King that you can't lie to her? That ain't court.
Yeah.
That's TV gossip. Who is Gayle? Is she God Almighty?
She friends with
Is
Oprah,
she
right?
God Almighty?
She ain't God Almighty, but she's somebody that you can definitely sit up there and lie to, especially if you testified in court.
That she testified correctly in court. There wasn't none of nobody business. Because the court don't care about that. The court don't care about if she was taking double penetration. Who assaulted her? You have no rights You can argue back and forth and you can have the best sex in the world. But guess what? The crime started with assault. That's when it started. They don't care how you love one another, how you talk on the phone every day, skip through the loop to the park. The law care about when you broke the law with a form of assault. That's what it's about. It ain't about nothing else. And you see this quietness, that's called common sense, what our community then got away from. We blame Jay-Z for why our dad went off up in the house. When we ever became these type of people where we don't like to take accountability for our actions? When have they became part of us? We
Well, you don't
believe
want me to answer
anything. We
that.
don't want to know the answer to nothing no more.
I know the answer to that. That happened when slavery was upon us. Not being able to take accountability for what happened.
At one point of time, no, at one point, what they call St. Louis, ain't nobody come up there with the black folk. Show me state. You used to couldn't come up and just talk. Your actions had to speak for you. And people wouldn't let you tell them anything. Right? You had to have proof. In the scriptures, the Bible said, prove all things. Only person that feel like they don't want to have nothing, don't have nothing to prove is a devil. You post up when I'm talking, I'm telling you, hey, look, this right here, read the case. I read the whole case. I don't care about DJ Academics. I don't care about Joe Budden because he do business with Tory Lanez, and he got some Canadian artists. He done put $5 million into name top 5. He trying to bridge, trying to help they hip hop in Canada. He using his platform to help they hit. He's not going to go against his money. And forget about what I'm talking about. Y'all talking about some weirdo stuff. The host said he seen that live. Wasn't that weird? The little boy said, man, I'm only 14.
He told 15. Yeah, he told him. He told him.
Yeah,
And
$15.
he still proceeded to.
He still proceeded
Mm-hmm.
with Tory Lane manager there. And then we always want to use that term, the birds of the feather flock together. So if we lump Jay-Z up with Diddy, then we got to put Tory with his manager.
I would. So okay, so you agreeing that he did it? You think he's gonna stay in jail? He's
I
gonna go in
most
there.
definitely, yes, sir. Due to the it's even worse when you read it on paper. When you read that stuff on paper, it's even worse. You know he guilty. And see that we gotta, and let this be the lessons to the women that's in this chat and the ones that on this panel. When you live a life of being promiscuous and stuff, men don't care about you. They don't care about how rich you is. They don't care about how talented you is. These men will want your life. If you get out here and move a certain way, these men will treat you less. These men will treat you less than a dog. They know that don't sound right.
Mm-hmm.
They know that don't sound right. The whole story about Tory, they know that they don't care. They not finna uphold a woman portraying a 304. They not gonna do that. Regardless if she's correct or incorrect. That's my spiel.
I love it. All right, brother. Hey, you welcome back anytime, man. I loved it. You welcome back
Yeah, I love your
anytime.
platform, brother. I see you and I come through. I always, even in the chat, I be watching. I love the way you have one of the most controlled panels that I've seen on here. You do an excellent job, brother.
I appreciate that, brother.
Excellent
Thank you.
job.
Hey, peace and blessings to you,
Okay.
man. Make sure you come back.
Yes, sir.
All
Okay,
right, I'm
yes,
gonna
sir.
drop you
Yes, sir.
down. I want to give you a few updates before we
Well, he
talk.
ain't never lied, but I still don't know who did it. I gotta see.
All right, here's an update from court. They had a brief recess. They came back to court. The Estavio guy says, Mr. Combs, he's saying this to Cassie. Mr. Combs wrote, you're so predictable. You said you were going to tell him you didn't want to do freak off. He said freak outs, but they probably are freaking out right now. But it's freak offs anymore. But you didn't say it, did you? Cassie said, I did not. Estavio says, here, You were suggesting freak off with a girl. Okay, then Gustavio says, you say you found a photo of Mr. Combs with Gina while you were staying with your parents in Connecticut, right? Cassie said yes. Gustavio says you decided to break up with him and he didn't threaten you, but suggested couples counseling. Cassie said, I don't know. So that's where they are right now.
What I
All
do,
the
what I do think is interesting about the way that the defense is setting this up as if he didn't really care about her, that she was setting this up as if she was jealous of these other relationships that he was in, as as if say for instance with Kim, he treated her like a wife, like and he didn't treat her that way. She was there for the freak offs, right? And for arm candy when he went to red carpets and stuff like that, right? And so what I find interesting about that is I wonder if the prosecution, when they do kind of go to cross examine her again, if they're going to kind of try to connect the dots in he was treating her like an SW worker,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
you
That's
know?
that's what I'm getting, the vibes I'm getting.
Basically that, and I wonder if the defense is has thought that through with the strategy that they're using right now, because this can be turned around and used by the prosecution to point that out, that basically, okay, she was jealous, she wanted to be the main chick, she wanted to be the wife,
Hmm.
okay, she was upset about that, that's what she wanted. I think a lot of women in her position would be upset about that. But it doesn't matter if she was upset about it or not. It doesn't matter if she was jealous about it or not. The point is, how was he treating her? Was she the SW? Was she his 10-year long SW worker?
Right, right, and I do know that, and they had asked her, and she admitted to that she wanted to have a baby with him, but he said no, he wasn't.
Yeah,
But then they also stated that what we don't know is that she was pregnant at one point. So I don't know
yeah,
if that's true or not, but that's what was said in court. And she was hurt at the fact that he didn't want.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're laying out this case that he didn't really care about her, that she was there for a single purpose, it sounds like, and she was jealous, but
Let my daughter
okay,
know I
she was
can't answer.
okay. Yeah,
Uh,
but she was jealous, but okay, she was jealous, but what did he consider her as? And I think that one of the things that she said a couple of days ago in her testimony, she said this was a job.
yes, yes, and
This
that's the
was a
thing,
job.
right? And she
Why
that
did you keep showing up even though you were broken up, all right, when you were taking these breaks? Why did you show up? Because it was my job. I think that is where the prosecution is going. And the defense right now, I think the prosecution's being pretty quiet during this whole time. There's some objections, but not a
but not
ton,
many.
you know?
Yeah,
They're just letting them kind of build this like little story. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if the prosecution goes to cross, because they're going to come back and cross-examine her. If that's what they say. So you just proved our point, she was an SW worker for him, 10 years long.
yeah. I think
So
that's what they're doing. I do now on Wednesday. I'm not going to even lie to you, Shira. Wednesday, I was like, what is the prosecution doing? Like besides nothing, right?
I
But
know
but they
it
brought
was
it
so
back
long. It
Thursday.
was so dragged out. Yeah.
Yes,
It was so,
yes,
it was like, I guess they were trying to slowly build this story up, like create a picture. And I think that everybody was like, what is this court case even about,
yes.
But I think, they did bring it around. And I think the defense is kind of, you know I mean, the more that they hone in on she was jealous and she had a temper and all of this stuff because she wanted to be the main chick, and they keep on hammering it in over and over and over again that he just treated her the way that he did, and it was really for these freak offs, right? And
Right.
to and to bring in SW workers, right? And all of that kind of stuff, like to help him organize this.
Right,
So I
and
think
that's
that
going to
they're
go into the
kind of, I don't,
racketeering. I
That's
mean,
where
yeah, and I,
that's where them other witnesses is gonna come in. Because if they come in and give stories or testimonies just like she did, he's done.
hmm
He's done.
yeah, yeah, I do agree. Now, let, let let me ask you this: do you think that we'll see the same thing as like we was just saying on Wednesday? The prosecution didn't they flopped. They lost that day, but they recovered
yeah,
great. Yesterday they recovered great, and so do you think that that's what they're going to do now?
I think so.
What
yeah,
about you,
They got
Sheila?
so many witnesses. They got
yeah, I think so.
to not bounce back, especially if they all
I
have
mean,
similar testimonies.
what's wild to me is that Diddy was so open about this, about all of these assaults, about the way that he treat, it seems like there's a lot of witnesses too, the harm that he caused her, and I think that's going to bite him in the end. There's witnesses to all of this. There's video. I mean, on top of the fact that, I mean, dude, I mean, he had admitted in interviews in the past, right? He videos 24 hours a day of his life. He has decades of videos.
Right.
I mean, he. Here's the thing: Diddy built the case for them,
Yes.
and finally, and been this open secret, and for whatever reason, something triggered them into finally going after him. But he built the case for him, you know.
I
But
agree.
I just think that the other stuff that the defense is bringing in is nothing but distraction. Because I think at the end of this case, a judge is going to tell the jury, you need to look at just the facts. You need to
Right.
look at the evidence, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't brought any evidence any real evidence other than, okay, I mean, the text messages, I don't even know how she's sitting there without I would be like curled up in a ball, humiliated, those text
Yes.
messages being read, you know
Yes.
but honestly, a lot of the text messages just prove that she's a truthful person, because the prosecution did do a good job at getting her admit her own fault in all of this too, you know
That's where
so
I'm at with it. And that's what I try to convey to people on it. The one thing you got it because they like, well, she's admitted her fault. She admitted what she's done wrong on the stand.
mhm.
And she don't shy away from it. In the midst of, let's face it, given the stress that this kind of case is, I am actually more shocked that she hasn't went into labor on the stand. you know. But
Oh,
she's
for
up
real.
there. Yeah, she's up there. She's admitting, look, this is what I did wrong. And hold on, there's another thing that just came in. Hold on. Cassie said she began taking medication for OP addiction in 2022 and received what is the word? Oh, neurofeedback and ED. What was that? EMDR therapy at Willow House
Yeah,
in 2023 to process trauma. She also revealed that Puffy Jacket had gone 10 had gone to rehab in Sedona, Arizona. Okay, all right. Once again, she's admitting to what she said
yeah,
She's gonna admit to it because the worst thing that she can do is lie.
at this point. Yeah, yeah.
She
I,
has no choice but to admit to it because the worst thing that you can do is lie.
yeah. What? But and the thing that, but I think what's gonna carry her through too. Well, let me say this first, and I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. I want to convey that. I'll be glad when her time on the stand is over because I feel like we we're just like not getting to the case that we were supposed to be here for. I feel
yeah,
like this is
Uh
more
huh.
about a bad relationship and
yeah,
it's taken away from what we were here for. you know. Uh, and look, no shade and no disrespect to Cassie. I just feel like the other witnesses is going is because even like I said yesterday, the questions he was asking them, or writing down and asking his team to ask her, it really sounded like a bitter boyfriend from 10 years ago.
Yeah, he's
Hmm.
mad that she escaped him and survived and got married and had children. I mean, I would be too.
Yeah.
I think I was expecting more from the defense. I was expecting some solid proof to at least battle the evidence the prosecution have already presented. I was expecting them to provide their own evidence, and there really isn't really anything substantial other than sometimes she liked it, sometimes she talked dirty, sometimes,
Right, Shira.
that
Right.
it's nothing substantial. It's nothing that they can use. It's nothing that a jury can really use to 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 counter what the prosecution has presented so far. You know, I was expecting more. I mean, he has the best attorneys in the country. I was expecting more from them, to be honest with you.
I
But
agree. I was definitely expecting some pushback, and I don't have the pushback right now. I just, like I said, this is more of a. If I can be honest, this is like when me and my baby mama see each other. My oldest daughter, when me and her mom are around,
yeah,
it's like, "Arr," and we dated in high school, and it's still like, I mean, it's to the point where, like, when we're out and about, like at our old high school football games or something like that, and people be like, well, hey, yeah, and they see my daughter and me, and they're like, well, I'm sorry, and they're like, oh yeah, yeah, that's yours, and um Sandra's daughter. I'm like, yo, that's we. This is not our daughter. I don't. She's not my baby mom. We just happen to share a kid in common, but she's not my. Like, I don't even know how we got along long enough to make a baby, but this is what I'm getting. Like, it's an old relation. It just has nothing to do. And I'm not saying it don't have anything to do because I get what they're doing as far as creating a foundation to build on, the prosecution that is.
yeah,
But I just think we're getting lost with this
yeah.
segment.
And it looks like right now, from from what the updates that you've had in the last few minutes, they're trying to go after her mental health. They're trying to make her seem like she's unstable and stuff. And even that, I think, is going to backfire on them because what they're showing is that she's taking care of her mental health. She's receiving treatment, you know?
Hmm.
I think that
That's why she
they're
went
trying.
in 2023 to go have that done.
Right.
Yeah, so I
Hmm.
mean, they can't even. It shows that that she is not that she wanted help, that she wanted to improve herself, and that it actually builds her character as a good person when you think about it, as someone with integrity. And
Right.
I don't know if they haven't thought about that, or it's a little strange to be going after someone's mental health. Like if she was still struggling with her mental health and she was still doing the rugs and all of that, and she was still doing FOs without
Hmm.
him now
Yeah.
presently, that would be a different story. But it's she stopped all of that back then and has been trying. It seems like been trying to be sober and take care of her mental health. I don't know what the plan was by the defense by bringing that up.
Yeah, we can't be upset for her at her
Um,
about doing that.
so
That's for sure.
so I had a question that I wanted to ask, but Eb is not up here. Now that you bring that up, because Ebony was saying something about we don't know what her lifestyle or how she was before she got with Diddy. That's what's going to
It's so
be a
hard to
key
tell though.
factor.
She was It's
Yeah,
so hard to
that's what's
tell
going
though
to be a
because she
key
was so
factor.
young. I mean, I think that during I think the first day of prosecution, she was telling a story that she was building a story that she was actually very inexperienced, it sounds like. He had taught her how to do certain, smex acts,
Yeah, yeah, right, right,
even.
Well,
right.
see,
He
when
was,
Ebony got up
you
here,
know?
when Ebony was up here talking, she said the total opposite. You get what I'm saying? She
Right,
said that people were saying that she was already a little hot in the pants.
right.
She
I
was with
remember that.
Ryan Leslie first,
Hmm.
and she left Ryan Leslie, and she wanted initially the bigger fish, which was Diddy, so she left Ryan Leslie for the
Yeah.
bigger fish.
Yeah,
Well,
that
Um,
shows that she might have been somebody that, is trying to reach men who can elevate her career, but that doesn't show her
yes,
experience as far as that, because she was only 19 years old when they met. I think
as
they
a
started dating with
user.
21,
right, right.
I mean, that's right. Think about any of us right out of high school, really,
Girl,
She
what you
started
like
say?
dating him at 21, or she started dating him at 19.
They met at
They met
19,
19.
and
Yeah.
I always throw shade at men in their 30s who are quote unquote friends with 19-year-old girls.
Yeah.
My own opinion, this is
Twice
my
their
just my own
age.
opinion, is that between 19 and 21 there was grooming going on, you know?
Oh yeah, I agree.
Um,
He groomed
you
he
know, he
groomed
was
her when he first
enticing her.
started dealing with her. When they
Yeah.
first
So I
met and was friends, I feel like that's when the grooming started. It wasn't no friends.
and
You was grooming her. What's
and
that
it's
story out there about the guy? He was sleeping with the how old, the 11-year-old girl, and they was calling her fast and stuff like that. And her family was letting him in the house, and I think she got HIV
Oh,
now. She's a little 11-year-old girl, yeah.
that's
And the guy
crazy.
they arrested him in jail, yeah, because it started
he,
from him
he
grooming her. What 11-year-old knows to go take a shower?
yeah, and you know what's
After,
interesting that I found really interesting is the first time that she knew he was interested, I guess in a more relationship or whatever they had way, her 21st birthday. He grabbed her and kissed her, and she freaked out. She ran away and
Right.
all of
In
that.
the
But
bathroom. You're right.
why? It kind of makes it seem like he was waiting till she was 21, the second she turned 21,
that she
you
was
know?
legal.
Mm.
Uh-huh. When she was legal.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he didn't want to catch a charge like
Isn't that
R. Kelly.
interesting?
He didn't want to catch
Yeah, I just found that very
them pedo
interesting. It's like
charges.
Hold on. Wait, who going first?
No, I was just saying he didn't want to
I
catch
just
them
found that,
pedo charges.
yeah.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I mean, 21 sounds much better than 19, you know? I just found that very interesting that, he knew her for a couple of years, and on her 21st birthday is when he makes his move, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I find that very is it coincidence? Maybe.
Well, he had to pry her
I
out of
doubt that it's a man with his experience and his level and at his age.
Well, I'll tell you. Well, hey, everybody in live, we're gonna go for about another 5 minutes, and we'll end the show. I
I was about to say, can you do me a favor real quick? Do they
absolutely.
have up there the timeline of when her and Ryan Leslie was dating? Like, how old was she?
Nope, but I can definitely find it for you though. Hold on one second, Nee. I was I had heard, or it was mentioned that he had pursued her while she was still dating Ryan, but it's like he was
Yeah, he did.
consistent with it.
Mm-hmm. He was pursuing her when she was still with Ryan Leslie, so she ended up leaving Ryan for him.
Right. And so,
Yeah.
but now if you take that, I'm gonna look it up. But if you take that, remember in that clip where he's in his office and he says, "What I want, I get."
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
you know,
Hmm.
so I
yeah.
kind of
That's
wonder if he
that's what
just
I
kept
think
doing
of
that.
too. When
If only she had stayed away when she ran away on her 21st birthday, right?
Right.
None of
Right.
this would
well,
have
he
happened to
probably
her.
still would. No, he probably still would
That
have been
gut,
gunning her down, stalking her, looking for
yeah.
her, sending
She,
security to come and get her.
I'm a firm believer in listening to your gut, and her gut told her something in that moment. And she's a young girl. She should have listened to it though.
Let's see.
Yeah, I just
They
want to know
start. It
that
said
because
they
I'm trying to
started
do.
dating.
Go
They
ahead.
started dating. It says Ryan Leslie and Cassie dated for about 3 years, starting in 2004 when Leslie discovered and signed her to his label, Next Next Selection Lifestyle Group. The relationship
Uh
continued
huh.
until Cassie began her relationship with Puffy Jacket in 2006.
So he
How old
started
was
dating
she?
her too. 19. She was 19 when she was dating Ryan Leslie. And then she started dating him at 21. That's 2 years later.
I wonder how old he was though, Ryan Leslie.
Who, Ryan Leslie? I was about to ask that. How old was Ryan Leslie in 2024, 2004?
One second. Oh, he was 26 years old. So 26 and
He
19.
was 26 and she was 19. That's not as bad, but it's bad
That's
enough.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
7 years. He's 7 years older than her.
Yeah, and
So
I mean when you're 30 and 37, it's not a big deal. When you're 19 and 26, it's a big deal.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's not a good look.
there's a
Not a
big
good look.
jump there. Yeah, it's not as
uh,
bad as 35 or
yeah.
37 or
and
whatever age
19.
Diddy was, but
Yeah, 19.
Well, that does. I mean,
Think that he like you ever seen the movie Sparkle? Ever seen the original one, the very first one, not the one that they
hmm
remade with Whitney Houston.
yeah, Sparkle.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in the original
hmm
Sparkle, how yes, in the original one, do you remember Levi?
hmm
That was Sister's original boyfriend, and then he started working for the guy, and he ended
hmm
up taking her from him. I kind of
All
feel
right.
like
Right.
that's what happened.
Same vibe.
I
Same.
mean, isn't that it's what's the funny thing about Diddy is, isn't that the story or the rumors going around with him, with J-Lo and Ben Affleck, that Diddy was always kind of around and he was kind of always pulling J-Lo back to him from Ben. It was like a huge thing in their relationship. It's one of the reasons why they broke up that first time was Diddy was just always around, right? Um,
Right.
it's interesting. Is he the type of man that always just wants what he can't have, and then once he has it, he controls it and doesn't
Exactly.
treat it well. Yeah.
I like that. I like that because and that's just pretty much him and Kim Porter was with Albie Shore, but he saw her and
Yeah,
said you see it's the same thing. So it's again pattern of
I feel
behavior.
like Diddy has I was about to say that a
And
pattern of
and
behavior. I
this
feel like
kink,
Diddy has a bad pattern of wanting other things, other people things, or people who don't
hmm
belong
women
to
that
him. It's a
and
dominance and control type of thing he
and this
Right.
has.
and this kink that he's into, he likes watching her with other men, right? It's kind of
Yeah.
interesting, right?
He's a
You
cuckold
know?
all
Cause he
yeah.
probably don't want to get caught or put out there that he, want to be with other men. So
Yeah.
shit.
I
At
mean,
least I
and
can get what kind of
part of it,
satisfaction is to watch you watch them, watch
yeah,
you sleeping with them.
I mean,
So
part of it is probably that, but part of it might be inherent to him that it kind of turns him on, that the thought of of him taking away this woman from another man, right? And he's letting these men have her, but she belongs to him, really, right? It's very interesting psychologically, you know?
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I didn't hear it. I haven't read it, but I know it yesterday. There was something about him uh, liking guys to how can I put this? Basically, put their baby batter on his nipples. So
to put his the white liquid on
yeah,
Yeah.
not gonna
his
live that down.
plates.
Okay, that's not gonna ever go away.
It's
That's
I'm sure. I mean, it's 8 weeks of this. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of like super cringy and creepy stuff that
yeah,
is details that nobody would ever want to know.
yeah,
That you're just like, I can't unsee that now.
yeah. That's not that. Yes,
I
it's
feel like what they're gonna say is like, oh, it's a fetish. Most people have fetishes. It's stuff people do in the privacy of their own homes. No, 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 no.
mm,
You hiring people. You're
yeah,
hiring people.
yeah, yeah. Now, I don't want. It wouldn't be no more hugs, anything like that. But look, it's 12. Hey, I appreciate you all being the panel.
Dude, I
Just
mean, 96, at one point, one of them, it went,
go ahead. We'll close the show after you make your comment.
oh, no, no, you could go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
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 go
sorry.
no,
ahead,
no,
Shira,
no, no,
because he
no.
about to
Please go
close down the
ahead.
show.
Yeah.
So yeah, he
No,
wanted you to finish his
no, I was
statement.
just gonna make a joke. I was just gonna make a joke that one of these parties lasted 96 hours. I can't imagine
A
96 hours with
party?
no like, yes, like,
Oh
yeah,
no,
she said she had to go
no.
96 hours at one point, one after the other. He'd say, go to the bathroom and clean up. There's another one waiting for you. Like,
That's
what?
torture.
Like,
That's
I'm sorry.
torturous.
I
That's torturous.
How crazy is that? How does anyone last?
96
Like,
Yes.
hours. How you do not die of be unalived of dehydration for one, fatigue for two. Like you probably didn't have any time to
I
eat.
mean, just
Like
as for a I don't
Right.
know.
that's cool.
I
That's
don't know how it
cool.
feels for a man, but a man doing that. I don't know how it feels for a man doing that for 96 hours, but a woman's body, I mean, I would imagine that's
The
a
men
lot of
were
pain and
fine
a lot of
because remember
damage,
Yeah.
they
you
were
know?
switching out the men. He was switching out the men. It was just her that remained the same.
Yeah.
Hmm. I'm gonna read this
I don't know
last this
Yeah.
last
So
was able to do
crazy.
transcript.
that.
Last transcript says, well, the one we for the show.
I mean, baby oil,
Estavio says this message
lots of
to
lube.
Facebook. Who's that? Ventura says, oh, the message to FB. Who's that? Cassie said Frank Black, a name he used. I don't know. Estavio says he wrote, "I'm in an investors conference. We'll get back to this. You still have love for him?" Cassie said, "I have love for the past, what it was." Okay. All right, baby. So listen, I don't know what it seemed like. This is again talking about their relationship. It's really not
Not I had love for
Hmm.
the past, girl. So that means you either liked it or you didn't.
right.
What happened to you?
I think that was she talking to Frank Black? That's who she was talking to, because that's one of Diddy's aliases.
right. His alias was Frank Black. Uh-huh.
And he was asking her, "Do you still have feelings with someone from the past?"
Let's see. It says, "Oh,
Yeah.
we'll get back to this. You still have love for him." Yeah. So they were asking her if she still had love for him. Yeah, for Puffy Jack, and she said, "I have
Uh,
love for the past,
yeah.
what it was." Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
see, I have love for the past, but what it was, absolutely
Yeah.
not.
That ain't good.
That's not.
So, but see, this is what make people say she wasn't a, a victim. It's stuff like that. But
Yeah.
Cause ain't no way I would have said hell no. I don't got no love for no past. You not knew hear what that
Uh-uh.
man did to me.
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
agree. I agree on that one.
Well, I'm gonna keep an eye on this. We'll be back on Monday. Man, hopefully on Monday it'll be better because we'll have that'll be after Dawn Richards has been on the stand. So I'm sure we'll start getting into a different aspect of the case. At least I'm praying. But hey, thank you both for riding out and rocking with me. I love you, niece Shira. Thank you for joining. You welcome back at any time. All right, and you two have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm gonna drop both of you down. Okay.
You too. Thanks.
Well,
All
Okay.
right, have a good day.
all right, people in the live. There you have it. This is the conclusion of our show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, by all means, please subscribe. Just hit that gold star up there and subscribe and come back. Come back. This has been hashtag I'm gonna say it. And we will be back on Monday. And Monday we'll try to get back to our normal time of 10, but I'm not sure if it might be earlier than that. It all depends on what happens, and because sometimes we have to recap what happened and then talk about that and then proceed into starting the show. But however, no, nevertheless, thank you all for joining us. I do hope you enjoyed yourself. We do hope you come back. Shout out to my moderators. Y'all have been busy this week and done an outstanding job. Shout out to my panel guests. And shout out to my gifters. All right, listen, y'all. Let's go. Let's decompress. Let's decompress. Enjoy the weekend. Be safe. Be aware, but be safe and have fun. All right. Peace and blessings to you all.